mistake road. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he shit out of
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, February the 7th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai, eating wings for some reason. Interesting. It's a Super Bowl's this coming Sunday. It's not tonight.
No, it's not, but tonight is Super National Chicken Wing Day.
Super National Chicken Wing Day.
Super National tonight.
Happy Super National Chicken Wing Day. What makes it super national?
I have no idea. Whoever invented it decided to put the word super in front because what wings are super?
Shouldn't it be Happy National Super Chicken Wing Day?
You would think, but it's super national.
Happy, maybe
it's like supernatural.
Maybe they're going to say supernatural chicken
like
wing.
Ghost.
Wing
maybe if you make it with ghost pepper, supernatural.
Supernatural.
I don't know.
Not supernatural. Natural. So maybe they're above organic chickens.
I don't know, but like I said, with ghost pepper, then it's supernatural, right? Question for you.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Flats or drumettes?
Drumettes.
Drumettes. I like drumettes too. But the flats have their place. Now I know the answer to this next question.
Go ahead.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese. Yeah.
It's for some reason it's like the younger generation all like ranch.
Yeah, because they don't like blue cheese. They don't like. I mean, none of them want to eat moldy cheese. You know, I, however, do. So.
Same here, I guess, because we're old and moldy.
Well, yeah, exactly. Mold goes to mold. So,
but
I liked blue cheese when I was younger, though. Was I always moldy?
Possibly. You live down the shore; it's always damp down there.
That's true. That is true. So, anyway, so what else?
You didn't as a kid. Oh yeah, but you lived near the Meadowlands,
which was definitely moldy.
Definitely moldy.
You know,
if you got around all the bodies floating up in it.
This is true. Definitely mold. And now we switched. You're near the Meadowlands,
yeah. They've done a much better job of weighing the bodies down when they throw them in now.
No, they use 2 or 3 cinder blocks instead of 1.
You know. You need it for all limbs, because otherwise things will just cut through and different body parts will start popping up.
True story.
They get chewed on.
That's true.
This is a great conversation for me to be eating by.
You gotta love that. Well,
these are okay wings. These are what, honey chipotle, and I thought they'd be honey chipotle barbecues the way they should be, but it really sounds like they just poured like a whole tub of chipotle into some honey and poured it over the wings. Not bad, mind you.
So either that, it put a little bit of honey inside the chipotle.
Quite possible.
Right.
But I love Chipotle.
The store or the
no, not the store. No, not the store. I don't think I'm gonna. I think if I try to walk into a Chipotle, like you're too old, turn around, go out.
Yeah, leave.
Yeah, you're not allowed. Oh, wait a second. You're not wearing.
It's like a bouncer standing there. Whoa! Before you come in.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if I was wearing hugs, I don't know.
Maybe that's true. You try it next time. Take pictures too, please.
I don't own hugs.
All right. You finished your wings.
No, I got 4 more over here, but I'm thirsty now.
Well, that's where I was going. I'm kind of thirsty myself,
so I need a beer.
So maybe we should bring the guest on. What do you think?
Yeah. Because either that, I'll be done with the beer by the time the guest gets here.
This is true. So before you pour it, let's bring on our guest for today. Please welcome to the show, Efren Hidalgo from Providence Brewing Company. Efren.
Hey, there he is.
How are you, sir?
Hey guys, how are you?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Not bad.
Go ahead. You did have a comment there about the Super National Wing Day. So
right, I was thinking that with all the names we can give it, we can definitely call it like Super Fun Happy Natural Wing Day.
Oh, Kenny Blankenship.
Yeah.
Super Fun Happy National Wing Day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's big in Japan.
There you go. Yeah, it would be. So I like that.
Yes.
Super Fun Happy National Wing Day. So
what was Kenny Blankenship's partner?
I don't know.
I forget what his name was. I only remember Kenny Blankenship.
I don't know.
Ironically, there's a couple of Blankenships that play in the NFL too.
There are none of them named Kenny, mind you.
No.
Are there any Baba Ganoush's playing in the NFL? Because one of the characters was always named Baba Ganoush.
Baba Ganoush. I mean, I would say that there's a possibility, maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know him personally, but there's a lot of practice squads, so you never know.
So
Anyway.
flats
Could be a kicker.
or drumettes, Efren?
Flats. Nobody eats them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
No.
You gotta make way for the drumettes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the fact that he's from Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, you're not.
I've lived in Rhode Island now for 20 years. I'm originally from Boston.
Okay, but close enough. 20 years in Rhode Island. Rings or tentacles?
Oh, tentacles.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Again, no one eats them, so you
Nobody eats them.
But that's all. That's all.
You
the
get
crunch
more
is.
for you, right? Oh yeah, that's all. It's all crunch. Yeah.
That's great.
But as far as the drumettes go, I'm a drumette guy, but I will eat the flats. But it works out because I lean towards the drumettes, and Jess would prefer the flats, so it's perfect.
Balances out.
We split an order, and it can, for the most part, go right down the middle. So.
Yeah, I don't even think I make it past the drumettes, and if there's any sauce on, whether it's blue cheese or ranch, I don't think I even get to it.
Do you have a preference between the blue cheese or the ranch?
I think I'm gonna go with the blue cheese. I do like the stinky cheese.
Got it.
I've always
Got to go
been
with
a big
stinky
fan
cheese.
of moldy cheese. And
Absolutely.
What beer best pairs with wings?
oh, for me, that's going to be either a Kolsch or just a nice crisp lager, like a Pilsner.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually, I'm starting off with the Bohemian Pilsner because I'm eating wings.
There you go. And I'm starting off with a Pilsner too. What are you starting off with there, Dave?
Well, as you know, I'm a big fan of Nightmare Brewing,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't read this damn label because you know what?
Want me to read it to you? Because I know what it is.
Yeah, well, I know it's a Bohemian Pilsner, but there's other stuff in it.
Oh. I'm just interested in the name.
Oh, the name, Defenestration of Prague. Not the deforestation, defenestration. I did spell it right.
Defenestration of Prague.
And that is our vocabulary word for the day, children. Defenestration means to violently throw someone out a window.
Defenestration of Prague means to defenestrate.
There you go. It's the noun version of defenestrate. No, it's throwing the act of throwing someone out a window. I'm not making it up.
So you might say that Hans Gruber was defenestrated.
Hans Gruber was defenestrated.
There you
Well,
go.
no, what was he? Or did he?
I mean, the window wasn't there any longer, but it was originally a window. So
But you have to be
that's true.
thrown.
So
through
the
it.
glass has to be broken for you to
I
do
think
So
the
he's half.
fenestrated.
Yeah. So he's maybe half fenestrated.
Gotcha.
Pancaked would be a better. But
Well,
so here you go.
That was
That's
the
a-
end result of what happened.
This is defenestration right there.
There you go. Yeah, their labels are pretty wild.
Oh yeah, their labels will
nice.
definitely give you nightmares if you concentrate on them too long. There's something else in here, and you know what I'm going to do because I don't know where my friggin' glasses are right now. I'm actually going to take a picture and blow it up because that is an old person trick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somewhere one of our millennial viewers is going, "Okay, boomer."
I was about to say that. So.
So it's Bohemian Pilsner, fermented and lagered on French onion rings. No, French oak chips. French oak chips.
See, you know what? Today that would not surprise me.
It
really
and
would.
actually, that would not surprise me from these guys. They do some. This is the tamest beer I've ever had from them, John. The one that I told you about yesterday is a sour IPA. This thing is on pineapple and coconut. And it's also got mint in it, and it also has there's Sabra hops in it as well as
I was
cashmere.
going to say, Sabro sounds like something they'd probably use to
Yep.
get that coconut.
Mhm.
But they actually do put coconut in it, pineapple and coconut. But the cashmere, and there's a third hop in there, which throws some nice citrus. So it's kind of like a citrusy pina colada. It's really good beer. Really good beer.
In fact, actually, we're brewing a beer tomorrow that we're going to be using Sabro and El Dorado in it because I really want to bring up the pineapple and the coconut.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. You just was it a quad you just released?
We just released a quad, and I'll tell you that thing is dangerously smooth.
That's always a thing that I look for in a quad, is something that's going to make me drink way too much of it. But that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we had to go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, what are you drinking, by the way?
Unfortunately, I'm just drinking water
Drinking
right
some
now.
water.
Yeah, I've got an early night.
So you went with the Coors Light.
Yes.
No, I went with it's about as crisp and clean as a Coors Light,
There you go.
and I'm with class too. I'm
With
drinking
class,
it
you
with a straw.
need the straw. Absolutely, that's the only way to go. I'll throw mine up really quick, and while you guys talk about that, I'll pour it. I'm having a Middle Fruit Pils from Source Brewing here in Jersey.
Nice.
German Pilsner, as you would guess, obviously. Let me open this thing. So you were saying, anyway, you brewed a quad. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, we brewed that quad, and it hit all the expectations I was looking for. I think I got a little bit of a surprise when I got some of that light estery flavor to it. The banana, but I think it is just barely noticeable. But I picked it up. But I mean, it's just caramel and spicy and mildly bitter. I didn't want to kill it too much with bitterness for an IPA, quad IPA. I just wanted to really kind of focus in more on the nice balance between the hops and the malt. But we got some really great flavors.
Now, explain what makes it a quad, because when I looked at the ABV wasn't quite in the quad range. It's more in the triple range.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's one of those where when you start breaking past a double IPA, 7-8%, I'm of the mind at times too that anything above 9%. I mean, if you hit like between 8 and 9. That could be considered a triple IPA, but is that marketing or is that a real rating? And then a quad anywhere between, if from the measurements, it's like, a 10.1 and higher is considered a quad. But then again, I mean, is it marketing? I'm just going based on what from the research, I've done with other breweries that have brewed a quad IPA and looking at their ABV and just saying, okay, well, we're hitting that. So, I guess we can call it a quad IPA.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't disagree, because the scale has changed through the years as well.
It's definitely come down. I mean, people are putting out a 6.8% IPA and calling it a double IPA.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I 7's the lowest that I'm going to believe is a double IPA. So, and even that's pushing it. But is what it is. I mean, you drop back in the day, you drank it. Back in the day, you heard a 7.8% double IPA, like a 7.8% double IPA. So, but now it's less than that. So, but yeah, the scales have changed. So,
yeah, I think. Plus, I think our ability to handle the higher ABVs has kind of helped skew that direction slightly.
Sure, of course. Yeah,
I mean,
everybody's tolerance has changed. So,
yeah.
To some extent, anyway.
I mean, like Maximus would have hit me pretty hard when I had it for the first time versus now.
I know Harpoon's original IPA hit me hard when I had it for this first time, because it was more than 5%.
Right.
Because that's what we were all used to back then.
But nobody was drinking anything. Well, I mean, for the most part, we're all drinking those lower.
What's interesting though is the range for just a straight up IPA has actually kind of crunched, because you got the sessions below it, which is 5 and below. You've got doubles coming down to close to 7 now. So you've got this 2% range where the IPAs can live in, which is interesting. So I am drinking an IPA tonight, which is 6.5%. So it's right in that range. It's an IPA.
Yeah.
There's no argument about that one.
No, it's definitely an IPA. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So cool. This is pretty tasty. And if I had a couple of wings that I could eat with some nice blue cheese to dip in it, this would pair perfectly.
Here, take one.
Thank you.
Oh, there's.
Imagine if I came back with one.
That'd be awesome.
Somehow we can be able to do that. That would be awesome.
Figure that out one day. Last time we talked to you, Efren, you had just opened up in the new place.
Just relocated, right? Yeah.
How are things going there now?
Just about a year now, right?
Yeah, we just celebrated a year on January 8th. And I got to tell you, I mean, this year has exceeded all of my initial projections and expectations.
That's great. That's great. Kudos.
Yeah, and I think one of the what's interesting too is that I've taken on a new hat, which is managing events and coordinating events at the brewery, which, in our previous location, it was so small, we didn't have anything to worry about. But I've realized that, where we are, the facility that we're inside of, it gives us an opportunity to really take advantage of the space that they have available to the tenants. And we've been able to book some nice events throughout the summer and which otherwise would have been, like most summers, it would have been kind of a slow period for us.
Right.
But yeah, no, this past year has been fantastic. So I've already projected better growth for us. We just recently got a canning line, and I'm still in the process of fine tuning it and getting that ready to start putting out some cans locally. First, we'll sell them in house, but we'll see how they do.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
because your neighbor has been canning for a while.
Yep.
And they sell them right there on the entryway as you're driving into the market. They got a little easy up set up there. You can just buy cans right there.
Yep.
Do they allow you to buy it from your car window? Is it a drive up?
Drive through, yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I don't think there's anything from what
There's
I've
no law
seen.
against it.
Yeah, I don't think there is a law. I think
It's not like you're pouring it as you're
right.
extra to pour, driving away.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Just crack it for you. We just crack that. Oh, we'll blow the head off there.
There you go. That's for you. But yeah, yeah, exactly right. You can go into a store, buy it, come out, put it in your car, and drive home. Why couldn't you just grab it from somebody in a drive-through and put it in your car and drive home? What's the difference? It's a matter of semantics at that point. It's just silly stuff.
It just needs to be from a licensed place, right? I mean, you just don't want to go up to someone who's got a four pack and just swipe it off them and drive away. Thanks.
Well, and also,
ironically, that's probably legal, right? But somebody has a license. There's stipulations involved,
right?
So.
Yeah.
But then you also have all the people blowing their horns at you trying to get into the parking lot for the market.
Oh, two separate lines. You got to have two separate lines.
It's wide enough there. It's wide enough there that you can do that.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's amazing how much parking there is, and then I believe the city they have the plans to redo the entire Woonasquatucket river walkway. Yeah.
Say that 5 times.
Yeah, Woonasquatucket. And it's great because they're going to make the Kinsley Ave. Well, is it Kinsley? Yeah, Kinsley Ave is going to probably be just one way going into the city, and they'll make that into like a walking path, so folks can kayak right into the river
or into the brewery. You're going to have like a little dock.
The dock is literally going to be across the street.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. It's so there's more and more plans for that little area there. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole neighborhood right there has seen some really nice revitalization. And Sean and team over at Revive, they've been such wonderful friends and a mentor to me. And just in general, all the businesses in this area have been such wonderful support for each other.
That's great. So because you have you've got a distillery across the street.
Yep.
Any plans for the collab with those guys or?
Yeah, my hope is last year when we were first in the middle of wrapping up our construction, I was hoping to be able to grab some of their spent um, adjuncts that they use in their processing of their gin, and using that as an opportunity to kind of see what we could do with a very light, light IPA to get some of the floral notes out of it, or seeing what we could do with that as a, adding that to the boil on our side to see if we can get some of those, the thing they used such. Off the top of my head, I don't remember some of the
Botanicals.
yeah, that they were using, but their gin is just phenomenal.
Gotcha.
So John's got a road trip plan. John is a big gin whore.
Huge gin whore. Huge gin whore. Yeah, no, I mean, I've had gins. Honestly, I've had gins that they used over 20 botanicals in them, and they were amazing. But I've also had gins that had 2 botanicals in them that were amazing too. So, I think it's all in the process of it. Because I mean, like anything else, right? You put too many ingredients in, things can get muddy. You want to actually taste certain flavors and certain aspects of certain adjuncts and stuff like that. But, if somebody's making gin the right way, no matter what they do, most of the time they're going to make a really good gin. So, but yeah, that's awesome. That's an awesome idea. Like, to get a hold of some of the spent adjuncts they used, some of the spent botanicals, and put them in the boil. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'm also hoping to see if I can nab maybe 1 or 2 of their barrels when they make their whiskey or their that would be, or even one of their vodka barrels, just to be able to. I'm sorry, one of their whiskey barrels, not vodka barrels, but one of their whiskey barrels to be able to kind of blend that with one of our stouts or something like that. Or even a sour.
That'd be awesome.
I was trying to figure out, what are you going to get out of a
vodka barrel? Aged vodka.
Yeah. I'm sure about that one. Well, what about a gin barrel? I mean, I've had some things.
Barrel. Most of the time, aged vodka means like 3 days instead of 2. Like 3
hours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There used to be a vodka when I bartended years ago from Lynn, Mass. That was, you could just tell it was filtered through a sock, but it was the cheapest thing that we could that we would get for bar.
Well, it needed to have some body and consistency to it, right? As opposed
you guys
to just
talked about
alcohol,
bodies.
Yeah,
right. There were lots of bodies floating in that one.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
the thing is, it was a much exalted sock. Someone had taken it out of the Celtics locker room. It was Larry Bird's sock. And they filtered everything through there, so that would sell. Definitely sell it there.
Is it still? I mean, is that distillery still there? Because Lynn, Mass, with Bent Waters in Lynn, Mass, right?
Yeah, no, this was. Yeah, this was around 92, 93.
Oh, well, for all our younger than millennial listeners out there, there actually was a time back then that people drank.
News for you.
And we drank well.
You did drink well.
You did not discover drinking.
Yeah.
No.
IPA was not the first style of beer.
Oh God, no.
No.
I was drinking Pete's Wicked Ale before '92. So
yes,
I remember when Molson Golden made it down.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Oh wow. I went hog wild on that.
That was. Dave will tell you that was the first, other than the faux brewery at any of the Busch Gardens, right, in Florida or Virginia or whatever. Molson was the first brewery I was ever at in Montreal. So I'm 86, I want to say. But yeah.
Oh, you're not 86. Okay, I'm like
no. If I was 86, you'd be 87. So it's not.
This is true. This is true. One thing. So no longer in Rhode Island, but I'm still part of the group. I still watch what's going on. I still see all the pictures with Liz's, engagement ring in them.
Oh, by the way,
that is awesome, isn't it?
Like
Congratulations to
single
Liz.
it is, but every single picture, no matter where it is she posts, there's her engagement ring.
by the way,
Yeah.
ironically, the beer I'm drinking right here, this is Liz's cousin's brewery.
Yes.
Oh God, that's awesome.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah,
Art
Art and Liz, awesome couple.
Oh, I love them. But I followed the group and I saw some really, really upsetting news. Beer on Earth is closing.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, and you would think with Moniker being there, there'd be more foot traffic back and forth between the two of them. They're right across the street. So I was really shocked to hear that they were closing.
Yeah, no, when I saw that post earlier that day, not Liz's, but when I saw that post that they put up, it just kind of was like, did somebody take over their Instagram account? Is this
a
not
joke,
real?
or is it April 1st? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
I'm being punked,
but-
right? You know,
Yeah, exactly. I thought somebody had like pirated their account, and I'm like, no, this can't be true. But then eventually it was confirmed, and it's like that's
Mhm.
it sucks. They're
Yeah, it
such
does
great
suck.
guys.
It's probably been 3, maybe 4 years since a brewery in Rhode Island is actually shuttered. I can't remember the name of them. They were down south, just off of 95. But it's been a while since a brewery in Rhode Island is closed.
South 95. You're talking more towards like down by Grace Hill or somewhere.
No, not that
between?
far down. Not that far down.
What was it? Bucket closed
Well, Bucket just
in 2018 or 2017.
Bucket closed. They became Smug, but there was one.
Yep.
There was one that closed after that. They were in. I really should go grab my glasses so I can read stuff because I pulled the map up.
I'm going to call you Alice.
You can call me Alice. Why you call me?
Get glasses, Alice. Get glasses.
Bang, Zoom, shut up. Hold on, be right back. Let me get my glasses so I can
Go
see
get his
this.
glasses. Anyway, he's a piece of work. You should have the glasses there if you need them. You don't know if you're going to need them. You might need them. Have them with you so that you can. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got his specs. Look at that.
I got the cheaters on now, so it was down.
CVS, brand cheaters there. So.
I think they were off of. Let's see.
What the hell was it? When did they close?
It was about 3 years ago.
Was that like in South County, maybe?
They were right on the verge of South County. Oh no,
Not border,
actually,
not border.
actually-
Verge.
No,
different.
you know what? And the thing you brought up, South County, there was that farmhouse brewery that closed
Mhm.
since this one closed. That was out
Was
by the
it
historic
the-
village. I forgot
it the-
about that one.
Purple Cat? They were in was there one in Chepachet, I think?
That one may have closed before that, if that was one of them. There's two that were closed, that closed while I was there. One I never wound up getting
They were
to. The other
closed while you were at the brewery. They
Yes,
closed.
while I was at the brewery. No, when I was in Rhode Island.
They're like, he's here. We're done. Out of here.
Like, I went in, drank them dry. They're like,
There you go.
we're done now. We made our profits for the year. Shut up.
There you go.
Actually, one of them was on the original passport. I can still picture
So
their
I'm
logo.
still waiting for that. Who was it?
Skyrock?
Huh?
No.
No.
That's Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll remember it. Talk amongst yourselves.
I mean, because like back then, I mean, we had Jess and I hit every brewery in Rhode Island in 2017. I mean, back in 2017, there were, you could hit
Yeah,
every
I mean,
brewery in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there might have been
yeah.
like a total of like
I
20-something
think it was
breweries at
if,
that point.
if that, I think it was like 19 or 21 or
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Yeah. But
Yeah, it wasn't until 2016 when it began to explode because
Right.
once they changed that law that you could have a tap room.
exactly. So, just trying to think. While he's looking, let me ask you a question, Efren.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing the Newport Craft Beer Fest
We are.
in April? Yeah, you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about that one. That's going to be a fun one again.
Might make it up there for that. Might make it
Awesome.
up there for that.
Oh yeah.
Just stick a night. We're talking about it. Might go. It's a week before CBC. Don't know if you're going to CBC or not. I don't know if you're getting down there.
I have never gone.
You've never. You know what? I gotta be honest with you. It's really cool. It's a really cool scene. You can. I mean, even if you're in the market to buy like one thing, you have a vendor there that you can get anything, right? We're just still, I mean, fingers crossed we're opening this year, but last year obviously we're in Minneapolis. We went to Minneapolis. We're just beginning to be contract brewing at that point. We still met up with a few vendors we were able to buy some stuff from, glassware, shirts, stuff like that, and things like. But beyond that, I mean, there were people buying brew houses that were brought there last year, so you can and awesome. Anything in between. We hooked up with the guy we're going to buy all of our hoses and clamps and everything else from, in Minneapolis last year. But yeah, we're going to Nashville. So, but that's the weekend after. We're leaving the following Friday. But we're talking about going just Saturday and Sunday, to stay in one night. Go up, drive up, go to the festival. Have dinner, whatever, stay over, hit a couple breweries, drive home. It's not that far.
Yeah. So. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember the town it was in Coventry.
Coventry.
No, Coventry, John.
I'm saying Coventry.
It's Coventry.
That's why I said it. That's why I said it like that. I've been to Rhode Island a million times. Well, not a million. Little less than a million.
Still don't say it right.
All right, Coventry. Fine. Coventry. I was busting your chops is what I was doing. So. Said it specifically for that reason.
I don't want to lose my Rhode Island cred. I don't want to have to turn it. I don't want to have to turn in my Buffalo plaid.
Yeah. All right. What brewery was in Coventry though? That sounds so familiar though. What the hell brewery was it?
Oh, damn. I don't remember.
You got to think of it. I'll think of it.
Yeah, we'll get there. At any rate. But yeah, no. This all started as we were talking about Beer on Earth closing, and that was just, I mean, that little area there has become like such a nice little area. They were in that strip mall with the great fish store. Mm-hmm. You've had, what's the craft beer gastropub that's right there that I love?
Oh, I was just thinking about them too. Yeah, and I can just see them.
I've eaten and drank in that place so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just Bayberry Beer Hall.
Yes.
Bayberry
Beer Hall. Yeah.
They have got a great menu. Every time I go in there, they've got such a great beer menu.
Oh my God. And what I love is they almost always have Aslan on tap. First place I ever had Aslan was at Bayberry.
And I'll be at Aslan in 2 weeks.
Which one?
Well, in Richmond.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
I'm just
get to ZZQ.
ZZQ.
Take a mortgage out first because they're not cheap. But I guarantee you may never have better brisket in your life than the brisket at ZZQ Barbecue in Richmond. It is so good.
Might have to get that.
That's one of my favorite things. That and burnt ends.
Oh my God, they're just and this brisket.
I could eat burnt ends all day, every day. My cardiologist would not want to approve of that.
Here's the thing about their brisket. With their brisket, the crust on their brisket, you don't need the burnt ends.
Really,
all the beauty of the brisket itself with this beautiful crust.
With the crust, wow.
Yeah, it's that place is special. It's worth every $1,000 bill you put down. It's not that expensive, but it's still, oh man, the food there is so good there. So now you were talking about the Newport Craft Beer Festival. You just had a Rhode Island Craft Beer Festival.
Yep, we had the Rhode Island Craft Beer, which was 2 Saturdays ago.
Yep, just 2 weeks ago, right?
Yep. And I was just recovering from the flu. I was week 1 of 2 weeks of the flu, yeah. And I couldn't even make it to that one. I was dying.
Oh, that's a shame.
That stinks. Yeah.
I hear it was a great time.
Oh man, it was fantastic. I mean, just the pictures that my staff was sending me were phenomenal. But
And
I
that
was pretty excited. We did a great collaboration with Need Donuts, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
What
we
what
put
was
out
that?
some.
Just curious. What did you do?
So we put out 4 sours, 3 sours, and 2 imperials stouts with different donuts and fritters that they made. So we had
Really?
yeah. So we did.
Oh, I love their fritters.
Oh, it was phenomenal. So we did for the imperial stouts, we did their raspberry fritter and their blood orange donut with our imperial stout. We did their brown butter pecan um, pastry with our imperial stout. I mean, it's
Yeah, I'm gonna need both of those things.
so I think I've only got maybe 1 or 2 kegs left at the brewery of I think we might have some the pecan, but then we also did their lemon pound cake um,
Oh,
as
wow.
a sour. We did their raspberry fritter as a sour as well, and then we did their blood orange, but we married it with white chocolate. And
Nice.
hands down,
Blood
at
orange,
the
white chocolate. Wow,
yeah.
that's
That sounds like that would work. Yeah.
yeah.
It was a nice combination. It almost tasted like an orange creamsicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's vanilla and white chocolate, so yeah, that would work.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
actually.
And so I mean, we went with, I think we went with 6 full kegs, and we came home with 5 empty.
Wow,
That's impressive.
that is very
Yeah.
impressive. That's
So,
awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
when Liz and her crew show up, that puts a hurting on him right there.
Well, no, she stopped by the brewery
That's
that
three
night,
of the
too.
5 right there. You know.
Yeah, no, I don't think they didn't end up going. They stopped by the brewery though, and I did
Really?
see them that evening. Yeah, and I was pretty excited because I was really happy that she stopped by, and I think she was having the raspberry fritter sour, which it was. I mean, so we offered a couple of the of those beers, those collaborations, as frozen as well as on tap, and
Nice.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. It's amazing how the frozen beer side of things has really kind of been self-sustaining.
Yeah, we can't do that anymore in Jersey.
Oh,
Well,
really?
they don't let the slushies anymore, huh?
Nope. We can operate a brewery. That's it.
I did not know that.
Oh, there's a lot of regulations that are, we're allowed to breathe. We are allowed to breathe. They did let
That's
us know that
nice.
we can breathe. Yeah. So beyond that, not much. But I
Inhale
can't,
or
I can't
exhale?
But, well,
Both? Can you do both?
we all have to do it. We have to call up each other and coordinate our inhaling and exhaling at the same time.
I was gonna say.
So there's not a
At least one of those 2 are getting taxed.
right, exactly.
Community brewing.
Community.
Okay.
Yep.
Finally.
I looked. I was going to say you were feverishly looking. I looked for a little bit. I couldn't find it, but yeah,
I
community.
finally
brewing, right.
remembered being the
last person at the bar at community brewing.
Being the
Reason.
the list nerd, the map nerd that I am, that I actually have a Google map of all the breweries I've ever been to. I'm like,
You know what?
It should
I'm
be on
an
there.
idiot. I should have remembered that you did that, so you could have just gone right to it and looked. Why I spent the time to even bother.
I just remembered.
beyond me.
I've got a map for that.
Right.
Well,
Not
let me
an
tell
app.
you, that I've got a great customer that has been a stalwart, follower of Providence Brewing since day one.
Sure.
But he visits all the breweries he hits. I mean, like much like yourself, he started with an Excel spreadsheet that he would type in but handwrite, and it was like every brewery he would visit, all the beers he's ever had, for all the different places he's ever been to. And it got so unwieldy that he had to move it over to a Google Doc. But I mean, it is impressive.
I actually have a Google map of all the breweries I've been to on the planet, and I use the icons I make yellow, and I seriously want to make the world yellow. It'd be a lot easier if it was. It would be easier if it was covered in snow.
That's your goal. That's your goal.
Give it a few more decades.
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah,
a little
we'll
bit.
get there.
So,
But yeah, no. So Community Brewing, but there was one that closed since then. It was near like it was a farmhouse family brewery. Apparently, the family got into a feud, and it wasn't one where they're on both sides and they have to hit the buzzers. And it wound up closing. It was near a historic village.
Yeah, I remember. I vaguely remember. I know which one you're talking about, and it was a very small little.
Yep.
I think it was a 1-barrel brewery. And
Yeah, it was open for 4 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean it was like odd hours, but they had a solid following.
Mm-hmm. They were. Where the hell were they?
why
They
you
were
think?
They
Why
were
you
down
think
in North. They were down in North Kingston, I believe.
wasn't? I mean, Tilted Barn's near North Kingston, right?
That's in Exeter.
Exit. That's
It's not too far.
North Kingston's right there. Is my point.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
said
it's just-
I did say near North Kingston.
I think Tilted Barn's still operating.
I'm pretty sure they are.
They're still operating.
I'm just saying there was another brewery near there. Is my point. So, while you think of that, did you finish your first beer? Because
I have, and I'm getting ready to open my second one.
yeah, I
Maybe it'll
can-
help me remember.
Exactly.
So
What is-
I'm so jealous.
we're sorry that we're drinking in front of you, but that's what we do on this show.
I'll make up for lost time tomorrow
There you
morning.
I'm sure. you will.
Tomorrow, yeah, exactly.
Morning, I love that. So I'm drinking a beer from our last guest because I had 4 of his beers, but I could only drink 3 of them.
We only had 3 on the show, right?
Yeah,
So
so
we
we
had
had
the
3 on
same
the show.
4. I, however, had that one on Sunday. So
I am drinking Rig Breaker.
Ooh,
This is a 6.5% IPA from Jersey Girl. This is Chuck Aaron's Brewing, a brewery. Chuck does okay stuff. His stuff's okay. We love Chuck. We love his beer. So I'll be drinking that as my second.
and we'll be
And I'll
having some of it on Saturday too, but we'll talk about that later. So
Oh yeah, we got to talk about it. We got a good event coming up. And I'll be drinking it out of. I know
nice.
it's not proper glassware. John, is this proper
No.
glassware?
that is proper glassware as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I drank out of it on the last beer, so
I figure it's a Jersey beer. I'll put it into a Jersey glass because I don't have a.
which
Jersey
is why
glass.
I did what I did on the last beer. So
But you have a source glass.
I do have a source glass, but I preferred. Well, I actually have 2 source glasses, but one of them's an IPA glass and one of them's a tulip, and I was drinking a German Pilsner, so I figured I'd just go with the shaker pint that says Coastal on it. So
See, I have the source Pilsner glass. Anyway, I always forget how malty this damn IPA is.
And
yeah, it
that's-
is.
I honestly love multi IPAs. It's such
No,
a
I do.
I mean,
I do. I mean, a good English IPA. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
You don't really get them much anymore.
no,
I mean,
Now,
now a multi New England IPA that's 1.5 years old, not so much. But,
No.
but when it's meant to be a multi IPA, that's
right.
when it's a good thing.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, you give me a nice English beer or even a California style.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
God.
My second beer, I'm actually just a 12-ounce can. As a matter of fact, this was brought back to me from Maryland, Silver Springs, Maryland. It's called Ruby Dragon from Silver Branch Brewing.
Oh, nice.
It's a ruby mild. It's not a dark mild. It's a ruby mild, so it's a little more red. Some guy named Matt was down there last week.
Oh, not that guy.
That guy, yeah.
Not the guy that the shark ate.
The guy that Shark ate, yeah. Shark ate Matt, right?
Mhm.
He was down there last week, so he brought back some beer, and I scored one of them. So let me take my obligatory picture here, and then I will show you the glass, which is I decided to drink out of specifically for this show.
Specifically for this show.
Specifically for this show.
The other brewery I'm thinking about, Efren, that closed was off of Gilbert Stewart Road.
So
Down there, and I can't remember the name of it.
I'm drinking out of this glass.
Out of what
Nice.
glass? I can
Newport
see.
Storm.
Newport.
That
No
logo's
longer-
gone. No longer
No
Newport
longer
Storm,
Newport
right?
Storm.
So-
Yeah, that's an anachronism right
That's
there.
a collector's item.
Exactly.
I've got one of their shaker pints somewhere.
I've got 2
With
of
that-
these,
with that
a
on there.
shirt, and a hat. So they're not going anywhere. They're collector's items. So there
Yep.
you go.
Mine's in a box somewhere in storage. Pretty much,
Say it ain't so.
yes, pretty much every one of my Rhode Island glasses.
That's
and
not
I've had
bad.
A lot of them.
It's an amusing little ruby mile.
It's an amuse-bouche.
I'll say so. For my next beer, it's definitely the amuse-bouche for my next beer. So
I see.
anyway, Efren.
Yeah.
What are obviously you talked about some of the stuff you did with the donuts and the stouts and the sours, and you did. But
Yep.
what are some other new beers that you've done? Since we last talked, obviously, and maybe not necessarily like little one-offs, unless you want to mention them. Have at it. But for the most part, some stuff that you've been doing that's taking off, and you gotta keep brewing because everybody's loving it. Go for it.
We brewed this really nice hazy, juicy double IPA called the Best Coast, and we used incognito hops on that one.
Nice.
From Yakima, and
So you're not going to tell us what the hops were? Okay, fun. That's okay.
right, they're hidden.
They're incognito.
Yeah.
I've always wondered where Cognito was. Everybody says I'm incognito. All right, where's Cognito? Where exactly is that?
I think they got it backwards. I think it's Cognito, Indiana.
Oh,
And they just put the I and N in the front rather than the
gotcha.
back. Yeah,
Last name first kind of thing. Yeah.
They're Asian.
Right. Anyway, continue.
So I mean, it was a great beer. I mean, it's a simple recipe. It's just 2-row, and we used Citra and Mosaic Incognito as our hop, which was fantastic to begin with. And
can't go wrong with Citra, Mosaic, and another hop. You just you can't go wrong with that.
But it's never been done.
No.
No. It's a completely new thing. I mean, I'm reinventing the entire beer industry. Yeah.
Absolutely. We've been contract brewing since last April, and we've done it twice so far. So.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's like there's some hops that just will always just nail that perfect combination. And at the moment we'd only gotten the Citra and Mosaic, and what was wonderful is that the whole point of it really was to experiment with Phantasm from the biotransformation piece of it, because Phantasm is a powder that we've been using that is made from the Sauvignon grapes, the musk from the Sauvignon grape, and it's used in conjunction with which one did we use? We used Omega yeast. I think it was one of their tropical yeasts, and the aromas that were coming out just out of the boil were phenomenal. I mean, I have never experienced that level of Citra and Mosaic aroma, so rich and clean, that it was blowing my mind. And then when we finally dry hopped it and got it ready and started just tasting it and making sure that the carbonation was right, I mean, it was phenomenal. And we put it out there, and it's been our number one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it.
So,
love it. I loved everything about that. There's, for some reason, it's just such a good combination. Citra Mosaic are just such a good combination that it's not like you're gonna you brew a beer with Citra Mosaic and then you dry hop it with maybe a little more Citra and then the other hop, right? That other hop shines so much, obviously, in the aroma and the flavor and all. But unless you're picking Centennial or Simcoe or something like that, that just any of the hops that obviously lend a what's the word I'm looking for, more prominent tropical or that direction with the in that direction, it's just going to be so beautiful of a beer So that's and incognito. That's amazing. We actually did it we did a collab with Brick City out of Little Ferry, New Jersey, up in Bergen County.
I've got one of those left.
We have. It's called Turning of the Tide.
I think.
Yeah. It was. They do jams. Like they do a lot of that. That's their main kind of line.
That's their jam.
That's their jam, right? They do. But they have. I mean, they have island jams and mango jams and I mean, I go on and on and on. And a lot of the collabs they do, like they did one with Source. They did Source jams, right? If this was going to be coastal jams, but the owner Joe, who's been on the show, Joe DeCalzo, he said, "I'm so jammed out. Can we pick another name?" But their jam series is Citra Mosaic, and then they add a third hop.
It's the most popular series,
and it's the most popular series. So we did Trident. We did Trident with ours.
So we did a Trident.
It came out beautiful
too. Yep. And man, I got to tell you, Trident is another beautiful combination hop right there. So we're going to be brewing tomorrow. We're going to be doing another variation of Best Coast. But this one we're going to be using Sabro and El Dorado hops.
Nice.
And I just both of them, very high tropical quality. One has some nice coconut, and the other one has beautiful pineapple. So
I'm a huge Sabro whore. And it's a very polarizing hop. You either love it or hate it.
Yep.
There's no middle ground.
Exactly.
To it.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. But
and that's the thing.
El Dorado, Sabro and El Dorado is nice. I like that.
Yep. So
what are some other styles you've done over the last year in that location? Have you anything interesting, like any interesting one-offs that you've done that were just like killer that you got to bring back, so to speak? Or
so we did this really nice Pilsner at the beginning of spring last year, and we're going to bring it back. So I'm going to be brewing that one in about 3 weeks, just to kind of get the ball rolling. So for March release, and we're also
what kind of Pilsner?
It's going to be a New Zealand style
nice.
Pilsner.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're going to be using a lot of Nelson, and we're also going to be what is it? So this one is going to be a collaboration beer that we're doing with Lost Shoe out of Marlborough, Mass.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah. So, and we've been playing around with the recipe and what we came down to. Again, we're taking advantage of the transformative properties of some of these great.
Uh-oh.
Unless he's thinking. He might be thinking of what was great.
It was
really
great.
It's really great. Yeah.
We see Efren seems to have frozen, or he's just become very perplexed.
I'm hoping he's frozen, because
no, I'm not hoping. I'm hoping he's not frozen. I'm hoping
no. I'm not
his connection is
not
frozen.
cryogenically. Not at all. No. Like all of a sudden, like that day after tomorrow, like the cold air got to Providence. Now we're hoping that he's back with us momentarily, and he's gone.
Okay, so hopefully he'll jump right back in.
He'll jump right back in. Yeah, my questions were a little long there, so sorry about that.
But anyway, so we but it's one of the reasons we wanted to have Efren on the show because, well, one, we enjoyed him so much the first time he was on the show.
And the best is yet to come when he comes back on, because some of the things we're going to be talking about coming up are not 100% of the reason, but definitely 50+ more percent of the reason that we wanted him back on. You'll get that. You had that briefly a few times so far, but you'll appreciate it when he comes back on. Anyway,
but we've also. It's been a while since we've had a brewery from Rhode Island on, and the Rhode Island breweries were a staple. when I lived up there, and so it's good to have them back on. Makes me a little nostalgic for my adopted home. So it's like we were saying with him, it's kind of upsetting to hear that there's a brewery being lost and a brewery that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. No, not at all.
What was it? Ich ein Berliner was such a good beer, especially the blueberry version. Oh, I love the blueberry version of that. But just the whole vibe of that brewery. It was tiny, it was dinky, but just the artistic vibe that they threw in that brewery was just fantastic, and I really enjoyed that place. So
was it Ich bin ein Berliner?
Ich bin ein Berliner. Yes, I left the word out, didn't I?
Ein. You left the N. Ein.
Ich bin Berliner. Yeah, no, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Mm-hmm. Yes. By the way,
such a good beer.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just saying. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. What?
Speak Berliner.
No, Ich bin ein Berliner means I am a Berliner.
Oh, yes, I am, rather. I had to do
but
that.
The best part about it is everyone made fun of JFK when he said Ich bin ein Berliner, because they thought that Berliner is also a donut. So he's basically saying I'm a donut. And that's what Beer on Earth played on, because these were donut beers.
Right.
So you had the blueberry frosted donut, they had a strawberry frosted, they had a raspberry frosted. Yeah. So that's what they played on the joke. Right. Whereas his grammar, his German grammar, was actually correct. Right. Ich bin ein Berliner actually meant I am from someone from Berlin, not necessarily I am a donut.
I am a donut, right? No, I had to say that and screw around with that. Anyway,
we were just lamenting. We were just still lamenting beer.
No, hold on. Let's introduce our new guest. Okay,
new guest,
Efren Hidalgo. This is Efren El Noob Hidalgo.
I told you most of the issues that I have with my computer tend to be between the monitor and my chair. So,
and we want everybody to do an exercise for us here that we did with Efren before the show. A lot of IT people refer to this as an ID10T error. And if you're listening, write down ID10T and you'll see what we're talking about. Not that we're calling our guest anything degrading, because
we're not calling our guests something that ID10T spells.
But I'm happy to admit it. I will gladly own that.
And the best part is Efren his past is in the IT world. So being El Noob, I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Yeah. I did forget to mention this.
You got it's backwards, but yes.
Oh, is it? Okay. I wrote it backwards only because
I'm Toy. It's Toy.
There we go.
Because on my screen everything is backwards. So
there it is.
Whatchamacallit. I did forget to mention at the top of the show. This is our 120th show.
120th,
and whatchamacallit. This is Efren's second time on the show. But 2 weeks ago we had our 87th different guest on the show.
Wow.
So another 13 guests will have our 100th guest on the show. And a lot of those are repeat. Obviously, Efren's been on second. Last week we had Chuck Aaron on the show. That was his second time.
Technically third.
Well, yeah, technically.
Second and a half.
But whatchamacallit. And Tom's been on the show 10 times.
Is it 10 now?
10, yeah. Matt's been on the show. Matt's been on the show as a guest 9 times.
9 times.
He's also been on the show.
Twice.
He's been a co-host twice, and he's been on the show as a guest twice.
And he'll be a co-host twice more this year because I do travel.
Right.
Matt Damon was on your wow, that's awesome.
Matt Damon, yeah. Ben Affleck's coming on next week.
And
he's never been on before, so
actually he may do it thrice this year because in 2 weeks Johnny won't be around, and if we can work it out, I'll be running the show with
so it'll
co-host.
be the first show that I've not been on.
The first show he's not been on. It'll be
wow.
I've been on. There's been 2 shows I've not been on.
2. You've been not been on 2 shows.
Italy and Utah. When I was in Italy and Utah, and when I travel on the way back from Ireland this year, I will not be on the show. But on my first day in Ireland, I will probably do it from the Airbnb. And yes, I am going to Ireland. And yes, I've already planned where I'll have my first pint of black.
Oof.
The Dead Man's Inn.
Are you going to first pint of Johnny Walker Black? You having a pint of Johnny Walker Black?
Yeah. And here's why. This is why I need a whole pint of scotch is because I'm driving on the wrong side of the road, and the car I've rented is a manual. So the stick shift's going to be on the wrong side as well. So I've got to be rip roaring drunk to be able to operate this thing.
You know what? That's weird because here's the thing, though. It's not just driving on sitting on the right side of the car. It's operating a stick with your left hand.
Yep.
And operating
feet.
operating the clutch
With your right foot.
with your right foot.
This is going to be, I am going to drive us off the cliffs of Moher.
No, you're going to step on the gas to change gears and step on the clutch to go forward.
Oh my God.
Like I said, I'm driving us right off the cliffs of Moher.
Have fun with that.
It's going to be, I really hope that.
And of course, this is me being a noob when it comes to that, assuming that the pedals are backwards too. I don't know.
I don't know if they are or not, but I really, really hope that in the airport where you rent the car, they have a course.
Test track?
Yes, for you to practice before you leave, because this is going to be, this one's going to be a lot of fun. But like,
let me ask you this question. Okay, so cars are, on the reverse side. So does that mean when the plane is flying over Europe, do the pilot and co-pilot switch seats?
Or does the co-pilot become the pilot?
Oh, deep right there.
That's so esoteric.
I know.
I need a drink now.
deep thoughts with Jack Handy.
Speaking of Johnny Walker Black, tomorrow is International Scotch Day.
It is. I did know that.
It is International Scotch Day tomorrow. Celebrate appropriately.
I may have a little scotch for that reason.
What's her name? And does Jess know?
Mine's going to be LaProix.
There you go. LaProix's good. I've been drinking.
I've got an old Balvenie over there.
Old Balvenie. Balvenie is good.
Yeah, Balvenie.
Yeah, I have a couple downstairs. I got to think of one. I may have it on the sports podcast tomorrow night. We are having.
Are you live tomorrow?
We are live tomorrow. We're having our first guest.
Oh, I may have to.
We're having
guest.
First,
no,
yes.
It'll be your second guest. The guy who put the K's out on for the Mets.
Oh, that's right. No. We've had guests on special shows. So we did the Mets.
Every show that you're on, Johnny, is special.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't mean that as a compliment.
On the actual live main podcast, we've never had guests. So we're having our first guest on that show. And you know him.
I do.
You do.
Do I?
Yes, you do. He used to be he for a while he was the locker room reporter for ESPN for the Jets and the Giants.
Oh, he also was part of the collab with you guys and Wet Ticket, I believe.
He was indeed. Yes.
Be Mr. Alcatool. But anyway, this is about Providence Brewing Company. This is about Efren. And when you had frozen on us, we were wondering if you were just deep in thought. If you've been,
what were you were saying about the beer that you had, the Pilsner you had brewed, the New Zealand Pilsner you had brewed.
Yeah, we're going to be brewing that. Yep.
And you mentioned that there was a lot of Nelson, and there was something that was great about it, and you went into deep thought.
You were like, "This is so great that he has started to concentrate so much on the greatness of it."
Yeah.
Right.
We thought you were so amazed by how great.
It was.
We were like,
yeah, it was.
And we
it was
were being
Stinker
quiet too. We were like,
yeah.
Give him time. Let him ponder. Yeah.
No, the exciting part of it is that JP Gallagher, who's the owner, one of co-owner of Lost Shoe and the head brewer, he and I kind of went back and forth on a recipe, and we decided, hey, let's do a Pilsner. It's going to be almost springtime, and we both love Pilsners. And one of the cool things too is that he and I both really enjoy kind of like this whole biotransformative approach to beer, where we're able to kind of focus on whether we want to bring out more of the hop flavor or more of the bitterness or more of the, the crispness of the beer. And we agreed on a recipe. So
I love that, by the way.
Yeah, it's so we brewed about 2 weeks ago at his place, and so I'm going to be.
You mean the brewery, not his house, right?
Could be considered both. I mean, it's a beautiful place, honestly. It's
He probably spends more time there than he spends at home.
Yeah, more than
so,
likely. Yeah.
You know.
yeah. I mean, his wife is his partner at the brewery, so I think yeah. If you get a chance, check out their website and then check out pictures of their interior. It's such a beautiful place.
Lost Shoe.
La Shoe, yeah. And
How do you spell that?
LOSTSHOE.
yes. Unless you want to say shoe is it's a silent M.
Oh, I thought it.
I
Lost
thought
Shoe.
I thought Dave was going to look at you, Efren, and say Gesundheit.
No, I really thought it was like something more like Belgian, like La Chouffe. I'm hearing La Chouffe, and I'm thinking La Shoe, LASUE, La Shoe.
La Chiffre, like in, James Bond. The Chiffre.
La Chief don't like it.
No.
Yeah.
Rocking the Casbah.
Rock the Casbah.
Rock the Casbah. The sheep don't like it.
Speaking. Never mind.
That's
Scotch, but,
and we're back to Scotch now, aren't we?
But yeah, so I'm gonna get myself out of that hole pretty quick.
Moving on.
So
where's the soundboard? You promised me a soundboard.
I know. I'm working on it.
Yeah, so we brewed a beer, and I'm really excited. So we used once again Phantasm. I'm a big fan of this.
It's
style,
really
man.
Cool. It really is cool.
Yeah.
The crowd Phantasm. I'm really digging that too. Yeah.
And we used not Cosmic Punch. I think it was it was Cosmic Punch.
Cosmic Punch,
which is their lager strain that really does a great job. So we're looking forward to that, and he's already going into he's already raising the temp on his. So
cool.
I'm looking forward to. He's doing it in a traditional style. I'm doing it more of a hot lager, which is I'm going to be using a spunding valve, and I'm going to put things under pressure, natural pressure, and ferment it that way, which actually for us is great because it completely eliminates that diacetyl rest and
Nice.
the CO2 pressure that builds up really kind of kills that whole process out altogether. And I haven't seen any differences when it comes to flavor or crispness or any of the traditional expectations of a Pilsner. So anyway, we're excited about that one. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're gonna collab. We've collabed on that one, and I'm also working out on another potential collaboration with another
Coastal?
brewery. Yeah, dude, hit me up, Johnny. I mean, you and I, we can definitely work something out, man. I would love to collab with you.
Cool. Awesome.
But in seriousness, what was the other?
I'm going to have to bring Dave up with me if that happens, though, right?
Oh, if you got it, you got it.
You got it. What So what's the other brewery that you're collabing with?
So my hope is, I mean, I'm looking to tap into a brewery out in Hawaii that we spent a great deal of time at
cool.
when
Nice.
we were, we lucked out on some amazing.
Tell me you're doing a spam beer.
Poi.
Oh,
It's a poi sour. That's a poi.
Poi and spam sour, nice.
Oh my god!
With some nori in it.
And a little nori. Well, you got to wrap the nori around the glass while you drink it. That's what you got.
Nori rimmed poi sour.
We hit this brewery up so many times when we were there. It was just amazing. So as soon as we kind of finalize on the details, I'll glad to share the info with you.
Sure, absolutely.
I
don't want to jinx it for myself.
No. Yeah,
we're not going to push.
When you do it, you post something, and we'll just share it straight away. Let us know, and we'll do it. Seriously.
Awesome.
And I think my third beer is from a place that might be the anti-Hawaii.
Go for it. Go for it. Post it.
It's Cleveland,
Ohio, and it's one of my favorite beers from this brewery in Cleveland. It's one of my favorite beers from Cleveland, to be honest with you.
Wow.
This
Right
is
there.
it's just such a beautiful beer. Actually, God, was it a little over a month ago? Our top three porters, and Edmund Fitzgerald appeared on someone's list. It's just a classic, one of the best just straight up.
Wow.
To me, I think it's the second best straight up porter in the country after Anchor Steams.
You know,
Anchor.
Anchor. Everybody calls it. It's funny that you
I know.
did that.
I know. I
Everybody
know
always
better.
says
I
that.
know better.
I know.
But after
But
Anchor, after Anchor Porter, I think this is the best straight up porter in the country.
Edmund Fitzgerald's a beautiful porter, really, really is. And we went there. You know, we were in Jess and I were in Cleveland 4 years ago, and
I love this
one of the breweries we hit in 2 days in Cleveland. We hit 9 breweries. when we went to Great Lakes. First beer I had, she says, "What do you have?" And I says, "I don't even look at the menu. First beer I'm having is an Edmund Fitzgerald."
And porters are, I mean, again, porters are such a great and easy drinkable beer. Yeah, we've got one coming out next week, so I'm pretty excited. Again, it's a very traditional porter. I don't want to screw around with something that's already.
No.
Are you going roasty bitterness on it or nice?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this is Anchors has got that bitterness, but there's still a smoothness to it. Edmund Fitzgerald is a little more raw around the edges.
Yep.
And that's what I love about it. It's got a punch to it.
Yep.
And so you going for that smoothness? You're going for the punch?
I'm going for the smooth. I like the smooth, and I think
smooth porter is really nice.
Yep. I think for I mean, I'm sure a lot of folks will agree that a punchy porter is nice, but
it's a good one.
I think when you look at, people will probably go more for a smooth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of dark beers, my third beer I'm going to have right here is actually a dark saison from Lamplighter in Cambridge,
nice.
Massachusetts.
I know that one.
The Upside Down. Right there.
There's a Stranger Things reference.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great one.
So, yeah, this is
how many of those?
Actually,
how many of those do you have, John?
I have one,
and now pretty soon you'll have none.
And now pretty soon I'll have none. I was gifted 2 of them at the brewery. I already had one. This is the second one, but I had one there. So there.
So Efren.
Otherwise, you would have had one of them. So put it that way. So.
Efren, so the other thing we talked about while you were frozen is one of the reasons we haven't had someone.
Oh, you were frozen. What is he? Han Solo?
Had him in carbonite.
Ted Williams, right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Now here's the best thing about that is that when he was put in the carbonite and when they hit him with the carbonite, his hands were tied around his waist.
Yes.
He comes out of it, he's like this. So apparently the carbonite destroyed the shackles.
Right.
There's a continuity problem there. But no, the other thing we talked about while you were in carbonite was that we hadn't had someone from Rhode Island on in a while. Rhode Island breweries were a staple on the show, so we're really thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, I'm humbled. Thank you.
Bringing Rhode Island back.
Yeah, we haven't had anybody. I got to look really quick while you're saying that.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since we had. No, I'm not talking about Rhode Island. I want to see the last time we had somebody on from New England. Hold on. Yeah, talk.
That's our last. I can tell you who the last one from New England was. If I could remember it. I've still got one of his beers in the fridge, as a matter of fact.
I got it. Yep.
You got it?
It was
Connecticut.
No.
No?
Last New England we had on the show was November 29th. New Hampshire.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Flip the bird. Vulgar Brewing.
Right.
Nice.
Oh,
anyway,
good
but
stuff.
continue.
Anyway, so what's going on in the Rhode Island craft beer scene? What's new? What's happening? Who do you like?
He's dialing his inner 1969. What's new? What's happening?
Well, Jack, let me just flip it on the bright side. I'll tell you. I mean, you can't throw a stone without hitting a brewery, and everyone so far, we're also uniquely positioned to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that I've noticed though is that there's been a tremendous push to bring back a lot of traditional type beers.
We're seeing that across the country. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that IPAs have kind of hit the saturation point, but I think, they've taken over the beer industry for quite some time, that people have begun to forget that there are so many other things that are non-IPAs that are just as delicious.
Yep.
That do deserve an opportunity to be back in the limelight again. And so we've been very lucky about doing that too. So that was one of our driving forces for 2022, was to kind of, we'll have our staple IPAs out there. We'll keep making new ones, but man, I wanted to focus heavily on the German beers, the English styles, and it's like there's just too many things that are being forgotten in my mind. And I've started to see over the past year that a lot of the breweries are really bringing them back.
Yeah, we're also seeing the Czech beers come back strong as well.
Yeah.
German, English, Czech beers. There's so many. I am to say something a little slightly off color, not really off color, but a little color. I'm a pig in shit. All right. When it comes to the fact that there are so many breweries out right now that are brewing all these lagers and brewing all these German styles and English styles and Czech styles, and all of the Tmave Pivos and Schwartz beers and dark milds, even three. I did last February at a brewery out in Lancaster, sat for 3 hours and had nothing but dark milds. So
yeah,
what's interesting is when you talk about Rhode Island, one of the first breweries to do this and get back to those old styles is all the way up in Pasco. Bravo to them. They were the first.
Bravo.
They're one of the first breweries in Rhode Island to really start reconcentrating on German styles.
Yep.
And
Chris
they do them well.
Chris is a great brewer. And his beers are fantastic.
Yeah, and it's not that he's just doing that. He can make a damn good IPA too.
Oh my God, yeah. And he's good looking.
There you go.
Yeah, he's not a bad looking guy. I got to give him that. Yes.
I know Chris. I know Chris is up at Bravo. I know that, but I know that from YouTube, basically, actually. So I've never met the man. So I'll take both of your words for it. So.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. He is really. He's like so down to earth, genuine.
And he's in the tap room and he's making sure everyone's having a good time, that they're enjoying the beer. And Chris is, when he asks you, what do you think of the beer? He wants an honest answer. Mm-hmm. If there's something wrong with it, he wants to know. He's genuinely, there's very little pretense to, there's no pretense to him. Not a lot of ego driving what he does. It's just a love of his craft.
Yeah. And you know what? That's the type of person that, as far as I'm concerned, we are as well. I'm just saying, because there's people out there and we know them, and we don't need to mention their names, but we know them, that if you say one thing, and I'm not even saying something really derogatory about their beer, but something just slightly as a critique, just slightly, they're going to get pissed off at you and they're going to get out of my, no, that's not what this industry is about. I want to know what you think of it. And depending on what, there's certain factors and everything else, of course, but I want to know what you think of it. So,
and I think that's where that's where the heart of a home brewer comes through.
Right.
Because from a home brewing point of view, I mean, when you start off like that and you make your first hot dog beer, and then you realize, ooh, it tastes like hot dogs, and you want that critique.
Right.
But then as you improve and you get better and better, you think your beer tastes great. Your friends will tell you they taste great, but no better critic.
Because they're drinking free beer. That's why they're telling you it tastes great.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I to be honest with you, I mean, if that is the one thing that when we first opened up, that it was a driving force for us to always get feedback. And I think a lot of folks that and there are a few, and I won't mention their names, but man, there were a few heavy haters of us that had never tried our beer.
Did you love that?
that had been so quick to criticize and hate us. But whenever I invited them to come to the brewery and brew with us, because obviously they were master cicerones, they knew everything about what.
Of course, they're master cicerone, because there's not one master cicerone this side of the Mississippi yet.
Right.
No, except them.
Except
yes.
them.
Except for them. But they never took up the offer, and they always thought it was, sarcasm. And it's like, no, genuinely, guys, and I would reach out to them and message them privately and like, listen, guys, you want to come over? I would love to have you here. There's no false information here. This is genuine. You say that something off. I want to know what it is. Help me figure this out.
I remember the first time we met, we're standing outside the front door of your brewery. I can't remember her name. She's another well-known person in Rhode Island craft beer community. Bikes everywhere.
Was that Christine?
Yeah, Christine was there.
Yeah.
You were talking to Christine, and I started talking to you, and you're asking me about the beer, and I was being honest with you about a few, because there was one there that night that I didn't particularly like, and you told me, yes, I know, we did this happened. So it was really great to, again, run into a brewer that wants the critique, understands what you're saying, gets what you're saying, but also there's that other side of it that if you're going to say you don't like a beer, explain why you don't like the beer. Explain it intelligently. Because if you just say, oh, this beer was shit, and there's nothing to back it up, you're not saying why you didn't like it, then what's the point? Why even bother saying this? Because the person making the product has gotten nothing out of that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you tell me it's not for me, okay, great.
Yeah.
But don't give me a one, let's use Untapped as a method of measurement. Don't give me a 1 because you'll tell me that it's not for me. I don't like sours. Well, or I don't like IPAs. Well,
this beer's too bitter for me. This IPA is too bitter for me. 1 star.
Two things really quick. I'll tell you. Okay. About 2 weeks ago, somebody checked into our coffee porter, right, and gave it a 3. Gave it a 3. Now,
not awful.
3's fine, not awful, right? But for some reason, I'm like, it's been getting bigger than that. And I was bored, right? So I click on his name just to see. For no reason. I'm not mad by any means, right? It is what it is. 1 rating, who cares, right? But it's not bad, right? So I just click on his name just for S's and G's, so to speak, right?
We can curse on this show. We've cursed on this show many times. I just said it. You can say shits and giggles.
Shits and giggles. I click on it, and he's checked into 450 beers. Okay, 450 beers. I went back about 100 just scrolling because, again, I said I was bored, right? So I'm going back. He rates every single beer he drinks, no matter what it is, a 3. All right. The best barrel-aged barley wine and stout ever gets a 3. Miller Lite gets a 3. Everything gets a 3. So there you go.
In all truth, if you're going to drink a American adjunct light Pilsner, Miller Lite's the shit.
Miller Lite's the one, right? Yeah, exactly. Yes. But in any event, the other one I want to tell you really quick is at AC Beer Fest last year, somebody checked into our double IPA, double New England, Trojan Seahorse, and
because the audience doesn't know what a DIPA is.
No, I'm saying double New England. I'm saying double IPA.
Oh, the New England. You added the New England.
Right, exactly. So anyway, all right. So they wrote on it, this double New England IPA is incredible. Tastes delicious. I wish I liked New England IPAs. 1.
But you got to remember, but you guys look at it from a brewery owner standpoint, whereas from the user, a schmucks who just drink the shit, there are some of us that use Untapped as a rating system for what we like.
No. Right. I get it.
Which is great. I get it too.
Which is fine, right? But what if you specifically don't like IPAs? Why put a rating? Put the notes. Leave it alone.
That's the point. But the point I was going to make is I'm one of those that if I'm drinking a beer, it's a style that I don't like, and I don't like that style, I will put notes in, but I will not rate the beer.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
Because I've got too many asshole friends in the industry that I know.
What are you trying to say? Efren, back me up here. What are you trying to say?
Don't drag Efren into this conversation. Look into these things.
Hold on, I'm going to freeze.
Oh, he's doing well there.
That's pretty good.
Except for that kind of the
All
black
you need
and
is
white.
my daughter to be vacuuming behind me.
Right.
I love how you went to the black and white cat clock. The eyes going back. Remember those old clocks? At any rate. But yeah, so some of us use it for that, but I guess they were old. Were they old? No, they were ish. Oh man, so let's see. Anything else in Rhode Island you can share with us that's going on there? And I'm glad to hear that the German English style, Czech style movement is hit there.
It's hit there too, and it's really everywhere too. Because Dave and I was going to say last year, but it's a year and a half ago at this point. We were up in, I was just up in Boston like 3 weeks ago, and it's there too, right? And Dave and I were up a year and 4 months ago ish. Up in Maine, it's there, So yeah,
yeah. And I'll just say, I think we've got Beer Week coming up, and so we're pretty excited about that. So we're kind of doing a mad scramble to kind of announce some of the events that we have during March Beer Week, and then I think for us, I am excited for summertime, because I am going to be putting out a shit ton of Imperial stouts. And I'm going to tell you this.
And what better time of year,
right?
July.
I'm going to tell you, because you go to any southern state that has a brewery, you go to West Coast, anywhere where there's like 90 plus degrees, and they've got Imperial stouts.
That is the measuring stick in Florida. Is the bigger, bolder, most diabetic inducing stout that you can come up with.
Why did I automatically see Angry Chair's logo?
Angry Chair. Angry Chair they are the epitome. They are the holy grail of Florida beer, and it's insane. You've got this subtropical, sometimes mostly tropical climate, and they drink these massive 10 to 12% stouts that are full of adjuncts, full of milk sugar, and this is what they judge themselves on
in 80-degree weather.
Cycle Brewing.
Cycle is. I mean, that's all they make, right? Cycle Brewing.
No. Oh my God, their hoppy stuff is delicious.
No. I know. I was saying it, tongue in cheek, because the only thing I've ever had gotten up here, whether it was muled or I bought it on the market kind of thing or whatever from Cycle, has been adjuncted stouts,
because the IPAs won't make it up here because it all gets drank real quick, and if you even try to transport it 1 mile in Florida, it's gone bad already because of the humidity. You don't want to do that. The stouts can hold up down there. It's insane.
Right, they're hardy.
No, they're not good for the hardy. So yeah, no, that's a very good business plan to just really flood the market with the big stouts during the summer in Rhode Island, because no competition.
Think about it. I mean, if we do a TV ad and we're showing like beach scenes and like people cracking open cans or like throwing a can.
I'm writing that down right now.
Right, you can just see someone just chucking a can of an 13%, 16% Imperial stout and just careening off another person. That's
because they've completely missed the garbage can they were aiming for.
Right.
It screams summer. So no, but honestly,
it screams sand, water, waves, everything to me right there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But for us, I mean, it's like we fooled around a little bit this past summer with some stouts, and they were pretty. From a sales point of view, I think people really enjoyed them, and it was like a kind of an interesting surprise.
Yeah, you know what? I got to agree with you though. You do that in a certain in a certain way or whatever over the summer because people aren't expecting it.
Yep.
And it's not like, it's not like it's like taboo to drink a stout in the summer by any means.
John
but,
knows full well I will drink stouts.
Of course.
365
and
366 during leap year.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it is a surprise because most breweries don't do that, right? They stay away from the stouts in the summer. So it's kind of something. It's something kind of cool to do. In the summer.
No need because
kudos.
During the summer I feel starved of my stouts, but that's why I buy the imperial stouts.
So you have them and you have them when you want them.
Yeah, right. So my last 2 beer drops I got was a Tavora box. It was nothing but massive stouts, and then I bought into the EBF. It's not EBF. It was Extreme Stout Fest by
Extreme Stout Fest. Yes, I mean, I'm hoping that I gotta reach out to Jason Ahlstrom. I'm hoping they get back to Extreme Beer Fest up in Boston.
We had
soon. I mean that they were. I'm not even talking about the online thing. I'm talking about the actual beer fest up in Boston.
Actually, what was it?
That was amazing.
They were great. Super Bowl weekend every year. So that was my Super Bowl, right? We go up there. Yep. We go to Extreme Beer Fest, couple sessions, hang out at some breweries, eat some good food. We'll stay up there on Sunday for the Super Bowl. Leave on Monday, come home. That was Super Bowl weekend every year. Like, get back to that now. It's time to get back to that now.
But I do owe them a debt of gratitude because during COVID, that EBF,
right, that one, right.
I was holed up in Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
I was touring as much as I can, drinking. I'm pretty.
And that was towards the well, I want to say the end because apparently we just ended the pandemic.
Yeah, because we flattened the curve.
Right. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Really? Wow.
But I'm pretty certain that I may have single-handedly paid Smug's rent during COVID.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm certain you paid Rob's rent.
I live 4 blocks from them. And I swear to God that the Alaskan Adonis, one of his sales guys, he was the human being I saw the most during the first 6 months of the pandemic, Andrew. It was something else, but that EBF that year, John was sick as a damn dog. He bought the box.
And I could not. I logged on, and I didn't even say anything to anybody. I'm like, no, click, logged right off.
Because we both
went to bed.
All of us had 2 computers linked, where we're watching EBF on one computer, and we're all on a Zoom call on the other computer watching it. And
it was not COVID. I was just
who wasn't sick with COVID? You were sick with a stomach ailment.
Yep. I was shot for 2 days. Both days of the
EBF.
Of the EBF. Yeah.
Damn.
And we had one of our friends was actually on EBF as one of the presenters. Augie Carton. That's one time we can.
That's one.
Once. And it was
I
funny.
almost said it before. That would have been twice if I did it. But...
And it's funny because I submitted a question, and while he was on, they brought the question up, and he just went, "Oh, Jesus!" He's like, "Not this guy."
This guy,
really?
And ironically, he was on the show literally a week later. He was on the show.
But I'll say I do miss being up there.
I
miss being up there. I know many breweries have opened since I've left. The first one, there's 2 that opened. Oh no, actually, Rejects opened while I was still there. I didn't get there while I was there. West Passage opened just after I left, but I came back up. Did go to West Passage. We had
him on the show too.
Yeah. Sort of.
Ish.
he had the worst Wi-Fi issues of any guest we've ever had.
Oh no,
it was horrible.
It
was really bad. I felt so bad for him.
It was so.
It's like every 5th word we got. That was about it.
Oh, yeah, I think we got more out of him from the text he was sending.
Yeah. We read his text as his dialogue on the show.
So I know a bunch of open since then. So
yeah, I think we're close to 40. I think we're at 36, 38 nice. Breweries altogether.
And I think when I left there was 28. So I think that 10 have opened since I.
And new ones. Left. That's awesome. Man. 2 years, just shy of 2 years since you left.
It's amazing. And it's funny. I don't think we're anywhere near saturation. I think.
Oh God, no.
I think. what what we're seeing is just more like you take like Bravo. I mean, Pascal, they've got Bravo, and so they've got this neighborhood brewery. Bristol is exploding.
Oh, really?
Yep. There's there's just breweries are opening up there, and it's again, they're taking advantage of the community that they're going to be a part of, or that they are a part
Right.
of, and I mean, it becomes part of the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, oh, absolutely. It becomes part of the neighborhood. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, absolutely. And I love every minute. Everything about that, I should say.
Yeah.
Right.
And last time I was up there, West Shore, West Bay only had about, well, you take Newport out of the running in Middletown. There was only 3 of them out there, right? You had 12 gun, 6-pack. Who was the third one? I forget. God, I love 6-pack though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they do some
Mark.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Mark's a blast to talk to too.
Oh my
It's
God,
six-pack,
he's such a nice guy. Yeah, I mean, again.
Shades On was down there too. Is that the one you're thinking of? Or?
No, Shades. No,
That's
Shades.
close. That's close. That's going down
No,
towards
Shades
Yeah,
On's West Bay.
West Bay. Yeah.
No, I'm talking East Bay. Did I say West Bay? I meant East
I thought
Bay.
you did. Yeah.
Is it Pivotal?
Pivotal. That was the other one. So there's some good stuff going out there, and you'll know that Rhode Island is starting to hit saturation when Little Compton opens a brewery. Right? Because I don't see that happening anytime soon. The closest brewery that you can get to Little Compton right now is what is it? Buzzards Bay Brewing.
There you go.
And that's in Massachusetts. So
Yeah.
Well, are they going to brew straight out of Little Compton?
straight out of Little Compton. I see what you did there.
There you go. Anyway, all right.
On the west side.
Exactly. All right. So, little bit of a
Rough segue.
rough segue.
It's a raw dog segue.
It's a rough segue. Yeah, I'll say it's a rough segue. Let's switch to. Nope, that's not it. There we go. I needed to do that. There we go.
That was my prison name.
That's your prison name.
Candies. Rough candies.
Rough candies. There you go.
Yeah.
That was last week. I had to change it. Anyway, let's do our top 3. Let's do our top 3 list.
What was our top 3?
Our
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
Are you that far down a rabbit hole you can't remember what our top 3?
No, I'm not even close.
All right. Anyway, our top 3 list tonight. This Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Who do you got, Efren? Who do you got?
If you're, who you got?
I'm not a big fan of either one, so I'm probably just gonna go for the food.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna
Thank you.
lie.
I am rooting for the commercials.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
I
I'm doing.
hope they're better than last year. Last year's
Oh,
commercials.
last year was horrible. Last year was the worst.
Yeah.
I literally would have. You know what? I mean, they were so bad. I almost was waiting for a drug commercial to come on.
The commercials were so bad last year. I almost watched the game.
All right, there you go. All right, so there was 2. There we go. Good job. All right.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Anyway.
I'm just not interested in this year's Super Bowl.
No.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I don't. You know what? Look, I don't. As a Met fan, I got to root for the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes' father.
Met fan.
As a Met.
Oh, as a Met fan. Now I got you. Now I see.
I have to root for the Chiefs. And I don't hate the Chiefs, but I have to root for the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes' father used to be a pitcher for the Mets. So there's a connection. When Patrick Mahomes was 5 years old, he was shagging fly balls in Shea Stadium while they were practicing or whatever before games and so forth. But and I don't hate the Chiefs either. Plus, of course, I'm rooting for the AFC as a Giants fan. I'm rooting against the Eagles. So there you go. So there's that. But anyway, so you're rooting for the commercials.
The
food.
I'm going for the
rooting
food.
for the food. All right.
But,
Speaking of food,
So
I
what
do
food
like
are you rooting
Mahomes. I do like Mahomes. I'm not
for? How
gonna
can
lie.
you not? How can you
not like Patrick Mahomes? Yeah.
I mean,
his
I
brother.
gotta say,
That's another story. But Patrick Mahomes, there you go.
right? I mean, he's that. I mean, just a natural phenom in my mind. I mean, he's just incredible. But
and the Chiefs
he's
have been
not
in three of the last 4 Super Bowls, right? You know, and if it wasn't for Joe Burrow and everything that went down in the AFC Championship game last year, they'd be 4 Super Bowls in a row, right? Who knows? So anyway,
do I drink a fourth beer?
Go for it. That's a great beer. I love it.
I've heard. Good beer. Anyway,
good beer.
So
anyway.
Your top 3.
So your top 3. So anyway, so you're rooting for the food. So on that note, our top 3 list tonight is. Nope, it's not that one. It's it's that top 3 favorite Super Bowl foods.
We're having technical issues here.
Exactly. Top 3 favorite Super Bowl party foods or snacks, however you have it. Efren, give us yours. Go for it.
All right. So starting at number 3, it's going to be stuffed mushrooms.
Nice.
I don't know why, but they're just they're just so good. Number 2, I'm going to say it's probably buffalo wings.
Okay.
Classic.
I've always got to have them. Yeah. Number 1 will probably be like a spinach and cheese dip.
Really?
Nice.
Yep.
Good spinach cheese dip is really good. Crostini, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they make or break it too. A good crostini, absolutely.
And the cheese is key.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
You need something that can stand up to that spinach without taking over the whole damn dish.
Right.
Exactly. Cool. Well, there you go. All right.
Boring, but it's me.
No, it works.
No,
That's good.
I'm
it's your list. So it doesn't matter what it is. It's your list. So there you go.
It's your opinion. It can't be wrong.
Exactly.
Unless you're on
Damn
Facebook.
Well, there you go.
Right.
That's different. Right?
That's a whole different world.
Whole different ballpark, right? And of course, this is coming to you live on Facebook. So there you go. Anyway, and YouTube. Sorry about that. We're both at the same
Please,
time.
Master Android, please don't ban us.
Duality. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, Samurai, what are your 3?
So, like I'm prone to do, I like to segment things into 3 different categories within our top 3.
Shocker.
I've done this so many times, but I also tend to like to do this so I just don't take all of John's 3 because we tend to have the same things.
I told you mine are specific, so it doesn't matter.
His are going to be very, very specific, so it's going to be interesting to see where he goes with this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring it up an honorable mention because I'm thinking I may make them for this year's Super Bowl because it's one of my favorite things that I came across in Rhode Island, and I taught myself how to make them, and that is Stuffies as an honorable mention. God, I love Stuffies.
Hey, you know what? I wonder why you brought that up this week.
This week. I don't even know what you're talking about. You
All
lost
right.
me.
Yeah.
You lost me there.
Stuffies. Okay.
You
want to
lost me.
explain?
You explain in the after show.
There you go. You want to explain to people out there that do not know what Stuffies are?
So Stuffies is you take. So anybody who is a fan of the Family Guy, he lives in Quahog, Rhode Island. Quahog is a big giant clam. No, it's not a giant clam. It's only about this big. But you take that.
The city he lives in is a giant clam. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. Hi, Lois.
Hey, Lois.
When I was in Rhode Island, I actually had a woman who worked for me that if you didn't look at
woman
her,
who worked for you?
Close your eyes, you heard Lois, which means the actress who played Lois nailed the Rhode Island accent.
Alex Borstein.
Really?
Alex Borstein. Yeah.
Nails the Rhode Island accent. Just spot
By the way,
the fuck on.
Not to bring this out to people, but you I happen to know that you are somewhat of a you enjoy watching the occasional Gilmore Girls episode.
I do.
Okay. Alex Borstein was on Gilmore Girls.
Which character?
She was Drella early on. She was the harp player. At the end.
Okay.
And she was Miss Celine later on. I don't remember one that was the she did the she was the haberdasher, the dress and suit dress the
one of the 3 biddies was Sally Struthers.
No. She was for Richard and Emily. She gave them their. She did them their.
Now I got you.
Right, she was that.
Okay.
It was Alex Borstein. Anyway,
so stuff.
But I've never watched the show, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, you know clue.
I don't know.
Anyway, so the quahog is a big clam. You shuck it. You take the meat out. You saute that in butter, onions, peppers, depending on how spicy you want to make it, depends on what peppers you use. You take that, you put it into a stuffing. You take that stuffing, you shove it right onto one of those shells. You put that in the oven, some paprika, garlic powder on the top of it, and you've got yourself a stuffy. And that is one of the most enjoyable things that you can eat in Rhode Island. There's so many great things because Rhode Island claims to have invented calamari. Who am I to argue with them? Considering during the Democratic National Convention, they cast all their votes with their representative on the beach with a chef with a plate of calamari, right. And that took some balls. That was, and they were the hit of that convention.
Were they calamari balls?
I've never had calamari balls. So stuffies. We spent a lot of time in an honorable mention. It's the most time I think we've ever spent.
All right, moving on. There you go. Okay, so number 3
of the 3 categories that I broke it down into. First, you've got your snack foods, right? You've got your chips, whatever it is. And for me, my favorite thing, even though I can't eat that many of them because everyone is full of MSG and I've got that sensitivity, whatever they call Chinese restaurant syndrome, whatever it is, cheese doodles.
Nice.
And the thing about cheese doodles, if you get up into Rhode Island, there is this place. The rest of the world calls it Cumberland Farms. Rhode Island refers to it as Cumbies.
Cumbies.
He's keeping this show Rhode Island.
Because it is a Rhode Island show. Right. But Cumbies is where I discovered the honey cheese doodle. And the thing about the honey cheese doodles, if you go into any Cumbies, they're usually sold out. If they're not sold out, by every goddamn bag they have. And that's why they sell out. Because if I go to Cumbies, I'm buying every damn bag of honey cheese doodles. But cheese doodles for the snack bowls, right? Number 2, shareables. And a shareable is anything that everyone, well, what do you want on it? What do you want on it? I don't know. I'm going to put this on. You want this on it? Anything that you have to get into a discussion and negotiation with of how it's going to be made, or like the pizza's a shareable in that sense. But in this case, for me, it is nachos. Nachos as a Super Bowl dish, and specifically chili nachos for me. That's what I'm putting on. I'm going to make a pot of chili the night before, 2 nights before even, and use that. To get those flavors also melded, because you want that to pop in your nachos. And the thing about nachos, no, it is not just a pile of chips with cheese and toppings on top of it. That's bullshit. That's lazy. If you're going to do that, don't even bother with the nachos, because stop. Nachos are like a lasagna. Layer it, that damn thing. And at the end, if you want to put stuff on like shredded lettuce, tomatoes, your avocado, that's fine on the top of it. But the rest of it, the meats, the cheeses, that all needs to be layered. Otherwise, don't bother. Let someone else who knows what they're doing make the damn nachos.
Exactly.
And then there is what I refer to as the mine, which means I'm ordering this. This is mine. You got yours? You got yours? You're happy with yours? Fine. I'm happy with mine. And I'm going to channel one of our friends from Bolero Snort, Scott Wells, and go with a chicken parmesan. If you're gonna shove something in your face that's just yours, that no one else, that you're not sharing with anyone, I'm shoving a chicken parmesan sandwich in my face.
There you go.
That's my favorite sub right there.
Yeah, that's sub. I thought there were grinders up there.
No, I'm from Mass.
It's from Mass. It's not a grinder.
Yeah,
Sub.
it's a sub. Good. Yeah, sauce, cheese, and mayo.
Sauce, cheese, and
sauce, cheese, and mayo.
What are you talking about? On a chicken?
On that chicken parm sub, man. That you put a little bit of you slather on a fine coat of mayonnaise, and it turns out nice and sweet.
I'm following him here because what Wells likes to do, and I like to do every now and then, is add some Alfredo to it. So that follows. I can see this. I can see this.
So it's mayo with cheese, basically. It's Alfredo.
No, but he said sauce. He said sauce.
No. I'm saying in addition to the sauce, the mayo layer that he referred to and the Alfredo layer that you referred to is right.
Interchangeable.
Right.
Interchangeable. Right.
There you go. All right.
I get that. I'm going to have to try that. Next time I get a chicken parmesan, I'm going to open that bastard up.
Throw a little mayo on.
And I'm going to call it an Efren.
An Efren. You know what? I'm seriously, Got to do that.
It's great when you order it right out of the sub shop because they look at you like, what the hell are you talking about, mayonnaise?
Oh my God! And when I lived in Pawtucket, there was just on the northern edge of Providence, there was such a great sub place, a great sandwich shop. And of course, I can't remember the name of it because I can't remember anything.
Shocked that you can't remember the name of it. So you look it up on your Google Maps while I give my top three. How
you go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So
called Sandwich Hut, by the way.
Sandwich Hut. There you go. All right. So I'll give an honorable mention as well.
Best Italian grinder in Rhode Island, I think.
There you go. Well, as Efren said, he's from Massachusetts, so it's a hero. You're from New Jersey, so it's a sub.
He said sub. He did not.
He
say
said sub.
hero.
He said sub. He said sub. So you're from New Jersey, so it's a sub or a hero.
Sub.
You could say that.
But when I lived there, it was an Italian grinder.
Right. Exactly. Right. So for me, an Italian grinder is a guy with a monkey going like this.
And what's the song they're playing, John?
It could be anything.
When the moon hits you,
like a big pizza pie. That's amore.
I thought that was an eel.
An eel?
Eel.
It could be an eel.
Amore.
Amore eel, right? That's more. I see where you went there. There you go. Anyway.
See, what we're doing right now is we're channeling a lot of the posts that Efren puts up.
Exactly.
Because
what we're also doing is delaying my top three. That's exactly what
because Efren is a massive punster.
Not at all.
And I enjoy the things that Efren puts up.
Every single one of the things he puts up, I'm all about it.
It's
I'm humble.
Anyway, all right. So my top three. I'll give you an honorable mention first. My honorable mention, honestly, is going to be snacks. It's going to be regular potato chips, pretzels, and peanuts. Just out for everybody, like Dave said, shareables or whatever. But right, but not barbecue or sour cream and onion or all these. Just regular potato chips, regular pretzels, regular peanuts.
With the dip.
No. I mean, sure if you want, but just eat chips, eat peanuts, eat dip.
No dip, so you're not.
No, you can. It wouldn't be wrong, but for me, it just I mean, if there's onion dip there, I'll probably dip one out of every
one.
No, 6 or 8 times I grab some chips, I'll dip it in the onion, and one of it every maybe 4 or 5 pretzels I'll dip in.
And then just throw a handful of peanuts in there, scoop them out.
Oh yeah, exactly. Lick my fingers off, yeah, exactly, and then go back in. Anyway, no, just potato chips, pretzels, peanuts. There you go. So
is that considered a double dip?
Well, not your hand is not a double dip unless you if you wash it every time. So.
If unless your hand has touched your face, I don't think it considers it's a double dip, is it?
No, right. If you can, you can just shoot the peanuts at your face.
That's a great point. Efren brings up here. Does it have to touch your mouth to be considered a double dip?
So if you dip a potato chip, put it in your mouth,
and then dip again, that is definitely a double dip. That's the definition.
You know what? Hold on. How about this? I take a pretzel, right? I dip it in the onion dip. I bite it off, but more of the outside of the pretzel breaks off, and then I dip that again. It's still a double dip in my mouth.
Still a double dip because it is perception. Now, if you dip it, snap the pretzel, toss the dip part in yourself,
and then go back in.
Is that a double dip?
That's probably not. No.
I would say it's not.
Because you're using another method of you're using the other hand to eat. And you still have this one free, so you can go back in. So,
anyway. No one gave us the rules.
You gotta talk with your hands with the other one.
Exactly.
Well, again, John's half Italian, so he definitely has to talk with his hands.
Of course. So anyway, all right. So my top 3. Number 3 is going to be wings. It's going to be wings, but specifically garlic parmesan and Old Bay. Those are my 2.
So 2 separate wings. Old Bay wings? Oh, I thought you were combining them.
Garlic parm wings that I'm just eating as the wing, and Old Bay wings that I'm actually dipping the Old Bay tossed wings in blue cheese. Sounds disgusting. Friggin' delicious.
So my challenge to you is garlic parmesan Old Bay wings.
I've never tried it. Garlic parm, on their own, no dip, no nothing, just eating the garlic parm. And
That sounds super fun.
yep, and Old Bay wings in the blue cheese. That's my
I
number
want
3.
that. I want that all combined.
I'll have to try it.
Now,
Super happy fun wings, I'll tell you. We're
There we
back
go.
to the beginning.
And we're back to cutting. We do that a lot. We go full circle. on
Right
this
back.
show.
It's like a circle. Right.
But
exactly.
usually because our opening segment usually does foreshadow
the top
towards the end
3.
of the show.
Right.
But one wing dip that I did, I had gorgonzola and bacon sauce.
Not a bad combination, by the way.
It was so for me it was almost a carbonara wing.
Oof.
It was so good. We really do need to get paddles in this place.
I'm getting hungry, so let me finish. There we go. Anyway, so my number 2 is going to be some form of barbecue, and for me, it's either ribs or brisket.
Mm.
It's not a bad call. Not
All right.
a bad call.
So
Either
or is fine with me.
ZZQ barbecue, get that brisket. I'm telling you
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
going to do that. And my number 1,
Oh, and wash it down with a Lone Star because that's classic.
of course.
Mhm.
They do have a Lone Star. They do serve Lone Star there.
And my number 1, and it's because I make it personally. I make this chili. It's chili, but
Personally,
specifically-
I make the fucking
I make the chili. I make it, and I make it. I might make it like for one game during the regular season of NFL football, but for the most part, I usually just save it for Super Bowl Sunday, and that's green chili with pork. So no beef in it, just pork. Green chili. There's tomatillos. There's cilantro. There's white beans. There's green peppers. Pork.
Spinach and kale.
No spinach and kale.
Broccoli.
No spinach, kale, and broccoli. No. I told you what's in it.
No, that's
Right,
the
I told you.
drink.
Right. Exactly. So then there's some tomatoes in it. So there's a little bit element of green in it. There's a little bit of element of red in it, but for the most part, it's green chili. But yeah, and that's my number 1. I need to make that every Super Bowl Sunday because that's my number 1. I need to eat that.
And the funny thing is, John is known for his green chili. We've our ex-producer. He still has. We never rehired him, right?
We never.
Brian is known for his white chili. I'm known for my red chili. So we got the Italian flag.
Italian chili, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll all make one batch and we're gonna combine them and call it Italian chili. Right?
Efren, to you, when you think chili, what's your chili?
Bison.
Oh,
Nice.
You gone?
I've actually
straight up Yellowstone.
I've had deer chili. I've never had bison chili.
I've never done
But
bison chili.
bison is just fantastic. I had it years ago. A friend of mine that I worked with at Staples had made it for the chili contest that we were having, and he brought it in, and I tried it, and I was like, this is phenomenal. Just the right amount of spices, but that bison was just
And what's the chili pepper that you? For me, I'm thinking bison. I'm thinking something with a little bit of game to it. I'm going to go chipotle with it.
Go ancho.
Or ancho even, but chipotle is very similar to a smoked chili. Yes.
Yep, something smoky. And it was just it brings a smile to my ribs and my stomach and
Nice. And eventually your face after
I can see that.
There you go. All right.
Wish I had a good source for bison.
There you go.
Oh, actually, do Fossil Farms.
Fossil Farms, yes. Fossil Farms does have good bison. All right. Well, there you go. I want to bring a couple things up really quick. I mentioned Jason Ahlstrom's name before, beer advocate Jason Ahlstrom. He posted this today, as a matter of fact, and I thought it was funny. He said he didn't say where it was. Obviously, it's somewhere near Boston because, Jason lives near Boston. But he didn't say where it was. He says, this store has all the seasons covered. And he posted this picture. There you go. So we got Holiday Whiteout, all Sam Adams, Holiday Whiteout, Cold Snap, Oktoberfest, Summer. we're covered. All seasons are covered in this store. So no matter what you want, they got the Sam Adams. So
wonderful rotation of stock. Nice.
There you go. Gotta love it. So my question. No, I was just going to say my question. Obviously, the main reason was to post the picture and like get a good chuckle out of it and so forth and so on. But my question is it wrong? Unless it's a beer style, that doesn't last, right? Obviously, like you don't want to drink a 10-month-old hazy IPA, right? We know that, right? But if it's a beer style that lasts, is it wrong to have it a beer style that lasts? That's a seasonal, right? Like a Märzen is going to last, obviously, right? Is it wrong to have it in your case if they still have it? Should they just pull it out and throw it away, or drink it themselves, or try and send it back, or whatever?
No, I think a good beer is a good beer is a good beer. You have it, you keep it, you drink it, you make it again.
Right. I'm in agreement with you, Dave.
I know breweries that if something has been sitting in a liquor store too long, they'll buy their beer back. Because
I mean the distributorships or even the smaller breweries, and obviously we know this, but if there's product there that they want out of there, you're not gonna fight with them. You're gonna buy it back. I get it, but my question is not that. My question is it wrong if they don't want to send it back and get credit, whatever you want to say? Is it wrong if it's a style that lasts and doesn't go bad per se?
But that's the caveat right there.
Keep it in the case.
But that's the caveat right there. John and I have spoken a couple of times about a beer store in New York, not too far from Nanuet, called Cable Beverages. Yep. Cable Beverages they are infamous and famous for their lack of cleaning off their shelves.
Bardonia, New York.
Yes.
Right.
So if you have the time and the patience and the fortitude to go into that store and just dig through the shelves.
You see a bottle in the front of the shelf. There's two or three other bottles behind it, different. You got to move. You got to look.
You will find the exact opposite of shelf turds. You're going to find plenty of shelf turds. You are going to find some shelf gems there as well. You're going to find, with the original price tag they put on it, a 6-year-old worldwide stout. Here, $5. There's my worldwide stout. You a 6-year-old. If you have the patience, the only thing is now so many people know this. You go there, and you've really, really got to work now to find these things.
Do, yeah. No, there's the years ago it was the place to go. Now word's gotten out. People go there. So,
you're
and we had nothing. Go ahead. I was saying we had nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say. I mean,
I love this. I just sit back and let you two go with that. But
Efren, you were going to say?
I was going to say. So you're telling me that I might have a little bit of a hard time finding my 72 case of Schlitz?
That might still be there.
That might still be there. All right. And after all, it is a lager per se, so it might still be botulism. I mean, it might still be good.
The 84 triple Bach, though, they're all gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah. All right,
John, when are we drinking ours?
Soon. We got to work on that. We got to work on that night.
What are the two we got? So we did. We took the risk because we know many of these bottles did cork. But we know that some of them became soy sauce.
We could be drinking soy sauce, as far as we know. We don't know.
But some of them are just rapturous. So John and I took the chance and bought. Was it an 84 and an 86?
94, 96.
Right. I'm sorry. Wrong decade. Oh yes. Oh God. Even worse clothing choices.
I'd prefer to wear the parachute pants and the just shirts. parachute shirt. I'd prefer to wear that over
Parachute shirt? I don't remember parachute
Well,
shirts.
it's a just shirts. They went along with the parachute pants. You know, they had the
and the
extra-
capizzios.
Capizzios. You gotta wear
Yeah,
capizzios.
you gotta wear this.
You know, because in the
Right.
'90s, right? I mean, like late '80s, you were wearing like with capizzios. You were wearing what was the Cavaricis?
Cavarici
Oh,
jeans.
Cavarici jeans.
baby.
Yeah. Gotta love
With
it.
the mid, you know,
Yeah.
mid
Tight on
stomach.
top and big out from
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and you gotta love it. So.
And I had my Western cowboy shirt from the 80s
Of course.
with the side zipper.
Oh, what was the Pet Shop Boys song?
West End
West End
Girls.
Girls.
Yeah, West End Girls. There you go.
West End Girls. Yeah. So this is the other thing I want to mention. I had this beer. I saved the can for this show specifically. I'm throwing it out tonight, but I had to save it, right? Somebody gifted me this. It's from a brewery in Hickory, North Carolina. And it was their Cloud Rise Hazy IPA. But look at the name of the brewery. Blowing Rock Brewing. Okay. So it's like these guys love Airplane 2. That's right.
Or Chris.
Or Chris, right? Yeah. Yeah. You need to blow the computer. Blow rock. There you go. Blowing Rock Brewing. I'm not the beer was actually very good. It was a very good AZ IPA. I'm not casting dispersions on their brewing or whatever, but it's just I love the name. I saw the can. I'm like Blowing Rock Brewing. That's great. So I wanted to bring it up tonight. I just had to. I had to save the can. I'm like, I have to save this. I have to put it on tonight. So anyway.
So, Efren, parting
yes,
shots. What's coming up for Providence Brewing Company?
Beer events. What's
So
going on?
we've got so we're going to be doing an event coming up soon. I believe in East Greenwich. So we're pretty excited about that. It'll be in February. That'll be what month are we in? We're in February now.
Yeah, in February.
Right here.
It's
Right here.
ridiculous.
It's been going so fast.
Phil
No.
saw his shadow last week.
Yeah, Punk's
Chuck did
telling.
not. Chuck did not. Staten
Um,
Island Chuck did not see a shadow.
No one listens to anybody from Staten Island, so
Let's see. So yeah, we're going to be doing that one. We're looking forward to the Newport one.
That's April
Yeah.
29th, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
And then I think one of the other parts of it for us too is that I've been working really hard to build out some more, strong relationships with other breweries to do some collaborations.
Nice.
So I'm hoping to have at least 2 or 3 more collaborations for the year and hopefully turn those into more long-term relationships with them.
Beautiful.
are these some of the
So, yeah.
newer breweries, or are some of the established breweries, or out-of-state breweries?
A little bit of both. I mean, all 3 really. It's kind of funny. I mean, I think many of us are. It's difficult. Like I said before, you can throw a rock and you'll hit a brewery, but you can throw another rock and you can hit another brewery that's doing something as different as you are. And
Yeah.
those differences really kind of make you really kind of look at each other with kind of an approving eye and just say, hey, yeah, you're thinking outside the norm, and you're having fun with a medium that typically, other people have been very rigid about.
Yep.
So
Well, that's why I love these guys. The stuff that they put into their beer. They do sours with tea in it.
Yep.
They're so inventive with their flavor combinations that you look at the side of the can, you read what's in the beer and go, well, that's going to be a rip-roaring mess. But you buy it anyway because these guys have a way to take something that could be an absolute goddamn mess and turn it into something where everything works together, it's cohesive, and everything supports each other and plays off each other to a point that you've got this dance in your mouth of all these different elements. They remind me of a beer that's no longer made. It was Ballast Point. Ballast Point a long time ago did a beer called Indra Canindra. And this beer was all of these like Indian food elements to it. And you just read the list like there's, and was it a brown, John, or was it a porter?
It was a brown.
It was a brown.
Mhm.
You're like, this, how is all of this going to work in this particular style of beer?
Yep.
When you buy your first bottle of it, it's a risk, right? You do this risk assessment. Okay, well, Bell's Point, we know they do good stuff. Let's give this a shot. And you give it a shot, and you put it in your face, and damn, it all worked. So this is what I love. What Nightmare is doing is, because I loved Indica Ninja. I think one of our top threes, one show was top 3 discontinued beers, and I think Indica Ninja, John, if you remember, was probably my number. Maybe number.
It was your number 2. I think it was your number 2.
I think Tumblr was my Sierra Nevada's Tumblr may have been my number
Absolutely.
1. But just that fuckery with all these different flavors, and Nightmare's doing that now. They're out of, or they brew out of Great South Bay, I believe, on Long Island.
Lawn, 2 words, Lawn, L-O-N, or
space.
L-A-W-N, L-A-W-N.
Long Island.
Guyland.
Long Island. G-U-I-L-A-N-G, right?
Guyland, yeah.
Lawn. It's a lawn, Guyland. And they're doing some great stuff. And yes, are they expensive? Are you going to look at $22 a 4-pack for the sour IPA I talked to you about, John, that I sent to you? That's a $22 4-pack.
4-pack, of course, yeah. I mean, that's a story for another show and another day. But I mean, some of these are just getting ridiculous in the price of the 4-packs. I mean, it's, you know, I don't know how you feel, Efren, but I think, you know, I want to make what we're supposed to make. That's it. I'm good.
Yeah. No, I think, and part of it too, I mean, when you get into the professional side of brewing, you know, that you're still making and laboring over quality product. Right. But you quickly start to realize that, in making quality product, you really need to sell. Mm-hmm. And it's no longer about just making it. It's about, I gotta clear up inventory. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I mean, that's the other part of it too. You know, when you think about a lot of these experimentals, or like you're pointing out, that beer that you know, the one that you were having, that's sour. You know, it really comes down to you know, these little one-offs or opportunities to experiment. You know, you take a base that you've made that you know that you can repeat, that's continue, that's constant and really
repeatable.
Change. Exactly. And then you take that opportunity to say, well, you know what, I'm going to try some acai berry here, or I'm going to try, you know, something like guanabana.
D.
Guanabana. Right. I mean, so you begin to see that there's an opportunity for enjoyment, and in that enjoyment is the experimentation, which, you know, again, it goes back to being a home brewer. You know, the moment you made your first beer, you were thinking, oh, what else can I make?
Right.
You know, how can I take this and really make it unique? And so that's where I think creativity obviously is coming from that, but you know, there's a sense of opportunity to like push that envelope even further, and I like that a lot.
I like it a lot, and that's why with Nightmare, I don't mind paying that $22 for that 4-pack. It's an experience, it's a journey to see, you've taken these ingredients, what have you done with them, and do they work? And so far with Nightmare, I've not come across one that didn't work yet. I've come across many breweries where, yes, they have transferred their desire and love to go off the rails and use ingredients that are going to make it really difficult for them to recoup what they've put into the beer. And so they've transferred that on to the purchaser, which is understandable. That's business. It's what you do. But they've not done it in a way where the end product was enjoyable. Right. So you then start to avoid those, what they're going to put, what they put out. But Nightmare so far has delivered on everything they've put out. The Bohemian Pilsner I drank on the show, that was a standard $14 4-pack because it was just a Bohemian Pilsner aged on oak. So there was, yeah.
I mean, but think of it. I mean, it's a Bohemian Pilsner, but then they've taken that one step further and aged in oak, right?
So that price point, I think, was damn good for that beer.
Yep.
And when you look at everything,
Not Beechwood Dust, mind you, oak. All right, so
French oak.
French oak,
Ooh.
right? Yeah.
Draw me like one of your French oaks.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't mind that. And there's many breweries that are out there. There's one brewery that's starting to get really out of hand with their price points. They do a beer called Brains, and I do like Brains, but the price point has gotten to the point where it's like I'm not touching it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
there's a couple breweries out there that make it to, I don't know what the distribution channels are like as far as these breweries go up to Rhode Island by any means, but as far as New Jersey goes, obviously the pandemic changed a lot of things as far as distro goes from other breweries out of state coming into any state for that matter, because they were brewing beer and they had extra beer. Obviously, there was less people coming to the tasting rooms and the tap rooms, so they had other beer that they packaged and they sent it to other states and they opened that up, and that's fine. And it was a beautiful thing because you were able to get these other beers, but now they're taking up shelf space and everything else, but they're also charging a premium because they're sending them out, and and the shipping and the 30% for the distribution company and so forth and so on. You're paying upwards of $30 or more for some of these. It's insane. Where does it stop? I don't even want to even. I don't even want to think about that. It's just getting ridiculous at this point. And look, and there's a market for it, and they're going to be selling, but they sold more when they first got to Jersey. I'm almost speaking for New Jersey at this point. They sold more when they first got to New Jersey, and they're taking up shelf space now because there are other beers. And look, let's face it. At this point in time, in 2023, there's good beer everywhere. There's really good beer everywhere. All right. And for somebody to go and buy a $32 4-pack versus something similar, or at least similar quality, even if it's not the same style, for $16, they're going to get two of them versus one of the other. So what are they going to buy? Now they're taking up shelf space. Now, the state, the in-state breweries have less shelf space to put their product up because these 4-packs are sitting there and not selling because they're so expensive. Right. So that's where I have the problem. That's where the disconnect is. So.
Efren knows this full well during the pandemic. So what? Rhode Island was one of the first to start getting Alchemist. Mm-hmm. Right, they came into the state. I used to lord it over my friends in New Jersey that were
pretty sure Vermont got the first Alchemist.
No, but one of the first states outside of Vermont that got it. And I lived very close to Nicky's.
Yeah.
At the time, and so Nicky's was just getting everything that came into the state during that. And so with Rhode Island, is it like New Jersey where it has not backed off?
I don't think so. I think, you're still seeing that popularity for good beer. And, I know that the price tags are, look, I look at it this way for us. In general, at some point, somebody's going to have to be the Schooner Tuna and say that we're looking out for you and we're going to take the hit. And we'd rather take the hit than you.
And I would hope that would be Nicky's, considering their entrenchment in the Rhode Island beer community.
They are by far one of the preeminent liquor stores out there. There's no question about it, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But I think, when you start looking at the breweries themselves, there's that negativity that comes with lowering your price, because at times price can be synonymous with quality.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't want that. You don't want that that to be the
stigma,
connection.
right?
Because you can, like you were saying, a $32 4-pack versus a $16 4-pack of a similar beer. Yeah, of course. Nobody wants to pay, that amount of money for a 16-ounce can, but at the same time, would somebody want to pay $4 for a Pilsner when they know they can go to another brewery up the road and pay $8 for a Pilsner?
Yeah.
In their mind, is $4 mean that it's a cheaper beer, quality beer,
Mhm.
and $8 better quality?
But a lot of it then comes down to the name of that brewery.
True. But I don't
Right.
think a lot of those breweries want to. I agree. I think the name of the brewery carries the weight of the public view, but at the same time, you know,
Let's face it. In Rhode Island, can Tilted Barn get away with charging $8 for a Pilsner? They could. Will they? They don't.
mm,
But
right.
but would if Tilted Barn put out a Pilsner for $8, people still going to buy it
hmm
because it's Tilted Barn. they've got the name. It's a name that's known well outside of Rhode Island.
Mhm.
hmm
People from outside of Rhode Island, when they go to Rhode Island, they're going to. It's Long Live. It's Tilted. You know, these are the breweries that people make.
It's
make that
Providence.
After this show, yes, it's Providence. But these are the breweries that you take a Mecca to Rhode Island for craft beer.
Yeah.
You know, these are the breweries that they're looking. Oh,
And they're hard earned.
Proc.
Right?
I forgot about Proc.
Yeah,
right?
but these are breweries that that they have gone through the worst of times and have proven
God,
their worth
yes.
and so right. So and I think that's
Oh,
the
I don't take
bar.
anything away from them. I'm not.
Oh
not
no,
at
neither
all.
would I. Yeah, they've set the bar, and that bar is it's really high, and it's an aspiration that many of us want. But I
Well-
think, but if we're talking about price, I mean, again, price and perception it's an unfortunate.
Yeah, there's a
bedwetter.
exactly. There's a balance in there, and
That's the
you know
one thing
you don't want to be exactly. You just got to look at it. You don't want to be too high, but you don't want to be too low. You want to be in the middle there.
Yeah.
So,
But that's the one thing I'll give those three breweries. They understand their name. They understand that they're a draw. They understand that they can probably charge almost anything they want for what they put out, and they don't do it.
No, they don't.
They don't go over the top. They're not pretentious about what they do. In Jersey, do we see that? Maybe.
Yeah,
We do.
a little bit.
A little bit. We won't name names. In other states, yes, it happens. And I guess that's one of the beauties of Rhode Island is being such a small state. John, we've talked about many times how the craft beer community is so tight knit. And in Rhode Island, it's got to probably even be much more so because it's such a small community.
Yeah, but pretty tight. And even though we're competitive against one another, we're very supportive of each other.
Right. And I dissect that, and I've said this many times on the show, and Dave will tell you that the fact that you're competitive, but you're tight knit and you're supportive of one another makes it not competition, it makes it co-opetition.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's something that I love about this industry. And it just makes it such an industry unlike any other industry.
And you have your outliers that don't participate.
If they're few and far between, and we really don't care about those guys.
Yeah.
No, they are, they are, and it is what it is.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I mean, the Rhode Island
In the name of beer, that they are, but they are, and it is what it is.
But in the Rhode Island community,
yeah, the Rhode Island community it's one of the, in my mind, it's such a blessing to be a part of, because it's you're not only just celebrating your successes, you're celebrating someone else's successes, because look at Armando and Long Live. I mean, they're now going to Mass. And
are they?
Yeah.
Are they leaving the state, or are they just expanding into Mass?
They're expanding. Yeah.
That's great. I would hate to hear that they're leaving.
No. Yeah, no.
Oh,
I
thank
think there
God.
would be an uproar if he had decided to move out.
Oh, there would be pitchforks and torches. Yes.
Yeah. I think there'd be another revolution between Mass and Rhode Island.
There'd be a border war.
Right, exactly.
But I think,
Anyway.
I mean, we're celebrating that as a community. We celebrate that success because, I mean, damn, that's phenomenal.
It is.
That's awesome, because it's rare. That's the first Rhode Island. Well, taking Narragansett out of it, That's the first Rhode Island brewery to cross borders and open, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
To have multiple locations, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that the plague is spreading. That's a good plague to spread. I like this one. Oh, that's great to hear. I had not heard that. That's phenomenal.
Good. Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, look, Efren, we loved having you on the show. We love having you on the show. We wanted to have you back on this one. Obviously, we told you
humble.
that.
Thank you.
You know, we have to get you back on another time, and we'll talk after we sign off. We'll talk too about
Briefly.
whatever goes on next. So
I'll finish my wings,
and he'll finish his wings. But on that note, we will sign up. We'll wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching.
While he's doing this,
go for it. Why not?
No, I can't.
Want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live at the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I was probably more certain shows.
You maybe read the first time.
Certain shows, yeah, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Efren, thank you so much for coming on the show. Sit tight.
Cheers.
We'll talk after the show. Thank you
Awesome.
again so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Anytime you're on the show, we love it. Thank you so much. We love everything you're doing up in Rhode Island. Keep it going, and we're big supporters, definitely.
And everybody,
thank you.
Everybody, never discount Rhode Island beer.
Oh, hell no.
Get out there. There's some great liquid flowing out of that state.
Yep, absolutely.
From Gray Sail all the way down in one corner, all the way to Bravo, then get out to the East Bay. Everything that's going on out there.
Yep.
So much good beer.
Absolutely. But have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. I think I stripped